Welcome back to We Feel the Flies. We're coming back to the game just after the exciting hour in which all of our players managed to defeat not just Ragnarok, Song of Undeath, but also a level 9 uh, Raziel.
That
Very powerful necrotic golem.
what level was Ragnarok? Just so that we can like have a sense of how much we kicked ass.
11.
Ooh.
It was higher than the Raziel.
All right.
That was I did place that at a technically like almost impossible fight, which is why you guys got a ton of experience.
Yeah. It also means that we got we beat the record of the other game in which level 5 of the Inquisition game, in which a group of level 5s defeated a level 9 technocrat, not technocrat, but a Praetorian of the machine on the channel. So on this in this campaign we beat a level 11 by being level 5. So that's really good. Should I do a summary of the plan that we came up with between the game sessions? Have we? Hello?
He said yes, you should. That would be ideal.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear anything. Okay, where did I? Oh, you had so many talks. Okay.
Yeah, we got to a real long talk. I tried to poke him away from the general chat.
All right. So the plan for today. We use Talk with the Dead to ask the dead guy how he died and how to stop the zombies on the surface. If he has no way to do it, we split up into 2 groups. One group goes to the surface with the page from the Necronomicon to control the dead and the crossbow bolts. Their job is to use the magic reserve in the bolts to cast Control the Dead and turn the undead against one another. Order as many as possible to stop attacking humans and immobilize any undead attacking humans. Omen, Genus, and Farron should go since they know the city, have allies, and Gabriel can boost their fatigue so they run around faster. Second team investigates the murder, immaterial thing, and the immaterial thing that Ban felt with his key detection in the underground. This will hopefully help find more about Black Sun and how to stop them. Ban should be in that group to sense the ghost killer thing, and Jorol should too because occult specialty, and Idred because she can detect magic. Is everyone still okay with that plan?
Genus, you're good with that?
Yeah, I guess.
Also, for those watching, unfortunately we do not have Stans or Omen's player today, but we're going to hopefully make a schedule in which they will be around more often. So I'll be playing Omen a little today. So, if all of you are good with that, then what would you like to start with?
I think it'd be interesting to have to see how Genus is gonna take care of going to the surface and like where you would go first.
Well, I believe that the plan starts with talking.
Oh yeah, you're right. Omen is the only one who still has Xeon left without having to drain the bolts. So I like show Omen the page that has Speak with the Dead.
Okay, now I'm looking up. Does that mean that only Omen would be able to speak to it?
I don't know. I'm checking too.
Allows the necromancer to communicate with dead souls and spirits around him, so it would be only...
Yeah, only him. Yep.
I'd like to roll a persuasion check to be the one to talk to the dead guy.
Sorry?
Would you like to roll a persuasion check for you to be the one to talk to the dead guy?
No, I don't really care as long as like he transmits what is being said. It should be.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm coughing a lot today. In that case, Omen will look disdainfully at the book, and without touching it, she'll probably cast the spell. She has all spirits. It's a presence. So we will probably need to cast it. It's one of those that can be cast at advanced.
mhm.
I do believe.
Yep, it's one of the easier ones.
And it will level. I think she's just gonna go with intermediate. Oh, heck yes. Okay, no, it's just by level now. Not presence at all. So
Yeah.
second level. And that will cost her
90.
90. Yeah, not bad.
It's
I'll deduct that from her character sheet. I don't know exactly where they keep track of it. I think it's in the character sheet. Oh, well, I'm not okay. Their actual is listed at 0 Xeon.
Oh. Yeah, in this case, I think that like we can draw some of the Xeon from the crossbow bolts. Because
The crossbow bolts are not like charged with them. They don't require them to activate. They just hit and then recharge after so long. However, I actually mentioned that the charging station for those rods.
yeah,
Oh yeah, you got stabbed by one last session.
yeah.
Well, no, there's another charging station for those rods just in the observatory above where you were.
Okay.
So it would not be that hard to get a little bit more Xeon.
Yeah, yeah. So let's head there, recharge a couple of rods, come back, and take care of that. Real quick though, just one question. Like, the bolts cast without needing without needing any Xeon to cast the spell.
Yes, they are not they do not emulate the. They're of the two artifact creation powers. They're the second one in the book, the one that just is automatic.
It's technically still needs a reserve of Xeon.
I'll need to look at that because that would definitely change some things.
Yeah.
I know, like the first one, you like have to accumulate it too. Is the second one still need it and doesn't need to accumulate it?
I think you need to accumulate both. I've had a hard time understanding the difference between those two powers. Other than other than the second one, you can have the artifact activated even if you don't have the gift. And since Genus doesn't have the gift and activated it, I thought it was the second power.
I understood that differently, but either way, it won't impede you. We will learn about that for its uses later.
Yep, you got it.
So, Omen briefly casts a spell. It doesn't take her very long at all. And her first demand will be, "You there, dead man, come forth and speak to me." And she will wait, staring around the room shortly. She'll say, "We want to know... We want to know how to dispose of all your undead leavings up top on the surface." What else did we want to know?
How he died.
Oh, also we want to know how you perished.
And who the fuck he was.
Also, who are you?
Yeah, that too.
Alright. She'll look back at you and saying, "He's being a jerk. Hold on. His name is Sergiel. Serguel. I have it. Sorry.
I'm gonna call him Sergey.
Sergey. It might be that. It's Serguel.
Sergel.
Sergel.
There's a lot of things that might be spoken differently than I expected. Anyways. he says that he died from a spooky-looking man
Mm.
in a cloak with gray eyes that stabbed him in the throat.
Mm.
Sounds like an assassin.
Does it
Yeah.
sound like anyone I would know?
Not the description that she gave was actually kind of poor. So technically, no.
Okay.
Gray eyes.
I'm just wondering if it's that guy. I doubt
Which
it,
guy?
but
Which
Oh
guy?
no, you're right. I totally misinterpreted. I thought that N part was an L. It was an I. It's Sergei, Serguei Colbert.
Survey Colbert.
Yes,
Right?
he's a named character. Sorry.
Yeah, he's the one in the scenario for Terrasanta.
Yep, that guy.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And
but of what I'm talking about, don't you, Appleby?
yes, I do.
Okay.
And Omen will sit there for a few moments and say, "Yes, but we want to know how to stop them." Yes. Was it near as powerful as you think it is? No.
Tell him we killed it.
We killed it. It was pathetic. I could have done it with both hands tied behind my back.
That's a
And
No.
lie.
and we all survived.
Listen, you're dead. Be useful to the living one more time. He
Tell
doesn't
him
want to tell me about how to stop the zombies.
Tell him if he does. Tell him if he doesn't, we're gonna drag his corpse out naked and hang it upside down in one of the town squares.
We will drag your corpse out and it will be naked and we will put it somewhere obvious. Oh, she open rolled on these. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. He says he doesn't have a way to stop them, but he does say that, and she sort of like squints her eyes a little bit. We can drop the wall around the city.
Why?
That's useful, but that would also allow zombies to get out.
No, hold on a minute. Did we try to leave the city? I didn't see anything like that.
There was I think that I'm pretty sure there was something magical there, because either it said that like the only thing that you could see beyond the city was more of the city, as if there was a sort of weird illusion mirror image. So there might be something that's been keeping the civilians inside of the city.
Well, what about the tunnel we sent all those people down then?
That might not
What
be
about
affected
the
by the
tunnels
spell.
that
Oh, sorry.
Last, what about the tunnel? Does she have memories? No, but she still has 10 intelligence. She remembers. What about the exports tunnel that Lilia mentioned to us? Ed. She will like wince a little after she says that. Lilia's in trouble.
Fuck.
But it isn't affected by the barrier.
Well, what about Octavia?
They're probably in trouble too.
God damn it! I fucking hate you guys. Janice says before she sprints towards the door.
I don't
Wait.
think he
We need to understand what sort of trouble before we jump to the rescue.
according to him, outside of that tunnel is where all of the scientists and their security are waiting to re-enter the city.
We already knew that. What we didn't know was how many there were. And Lilia went with them, so she probably knew how many there were and that they had a fighting chance.
She turns back to the nothing and says, "We've sent armed soldiers with your crossbows, and they're very capable." He says, "There's a chance." anyways, the way to turn off the barrier, we need his shield. It's over to the north of here. No, I'm sorry. It is to the south. We'll have to do some walking, he says. But we
Okay.
can turn it off there.
All right. I think that's a good idea. Just to let civilians escape this mess.
Fine.
By the way, you will know. You can know this obviously. You have history and you are intelligent by a large margin. Directly outside of the city is an entire, like, a considerable army from the Fourth Lord of War.
Wait,
They
what?
camp. The Fourth Lord of War has a considerable number of soldiers camped outside of Terrasanta and has for many years,
Oh,
or has for some years.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Wait, what does that mean?
The
Oh,
Fourth Lord of War is
it's an imperial.
yes, he's a servant to the Empire, or supposedly he is. And that just means there's a bunch of Imperial soldiers, technically good guys, outside the wall.
That could rush in and intervene. So we would actually not need to do. We'd have saved the day if we turned off the. Well, like we could make it a little bit better by sending Omen to control to cast control the dead, but apart from that, yeah, would the day would be saved.
Anyone able to heal me, by the way?
No, it's impossible. You're gonna die. It's
It is said. It is been told.
okay. How many after the okay after that spell is cast, how many Xeon points did we get back from recharge from the recharging station? FLB?
Oh, sorry, I've been muted. I was saying, let me do just a bit of math. By the way, since the beginning of this, since coming down here, it's been another couple of hours. So, gain two hours worth of key bond. Also,
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, how's my constitution? Do I get it back?
you get one back since the fight.
So I'm up to 2 constitution.
You're up
Great.
to 2.
Yay.
You're slowly, like, unshriveling. Your skin is getting a bit of color back. By the way, she looks terrifying right now. Also, you guys have been awake for like 16 hours because you were awake before this started, and now it's like deep into the night.
Yep.
So I will warn you that you guys will probably soon be getting -10s for sleep deprivation.
What would we roll against that?
You do not roll against that. You just get tired.
Oh, really? Wow, awesome.
Okay.
Neither Genas would or Ban would get too much of that because you have use of necessary energy.
Use of necessary energy does not stop that. Elimination of necessity.
Oh, that's the one. My bad.
But I think Ban has that too, doesn't he?
I think I do, actually.
Okay.
But
What
anyways,
is it?
elimination
Oh,
of
I don't.
necessities.
I
Shoot.
don't. It would take me an hour to learn,
Okay.
though.
You could do that, but you guys are a little bit tired right now. Also, you gain 600 more Xeon.
Okay.
You can split that around if you'd like.
I'm gonna give it all to I'm gonna give those rods to the group that's gonna go out after we deactivate the shield. Okay, so I tell Omen to memorize the instructions as best she can, and then we can head out to the to south of here and deactivate the shield.
Wow, Omen actually rolled alright for memorize. Alright.
I do need a heal.
Oh yeah.
You're immortal. Why do you need healing? Also,
Yeah,
you'll notice-
that's the thing. Like we kind of need to prioritize spending the Xeon on controlling the undead to save more lives over your healing.
By the way,
If
I
my
will
character
say-
dies, then because he plans to do something. That's why he's asking for healing.
I was going to say, by the way, you have been watching Ban like out of the corner of your eye, feed the blood rose.
Oh God.
I think you fed her 2 more times. So blood rose is now where they started out as like up to your knee. The blood rose now stands about Genus's height.
Ugh.
And suddenly the blood rose is back in her dagger.
Oh. Kill. No, she's not saying that. I would have appreciated an announcement.
She says she would have appreciated an announcement.
So yes, you guys. So the goal is now to go. Everybody goes to the place where you need to go. To
Yeah.
turn
South.
on. Okay. Someone will explain that he called it the primary watch point, and
Prim-
it is all the
okay.
way to the southern side of the city.
All right.
You trek just through the tunnels.
Yep.
Bon is leaving.
Oh, where's Bond going?
He says, I have a promise to keep, and he goes down the tunnel where the villagers went.
Okay, you're going to exports, which actually, as you go outside, there's a tunnel. Direct, like I told you, there are 3 tunnels leading away from this area.
Well,
The one
Genus
that
follows ban. Genus follows ban.
Okay. The one that is perpendicular, leading directly away from where you are, says Lab 2 and imports and exports.
I'm gonna go with I'll tell you both that we I'll tell Ban to meet me back here when he's done, and Genus to meet Omen at the on the surface at the wooden warhound when she's done.
Okay.
All right.
And where did you want Omen to go?
Omen's coming with me because he knows the instructions, and we're going to the
Primary watch point.
yeah, and I think Gabriel is going to be going with Ban and Genus.
Okay. By the way, she says you do need the arm. You need his arm for this.
So you need Bond.
Well, no.
No.
Bond just needs to hand us the arm.
Yeah.
I hand the shield to Drell, which I'd actually chipped away the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as it's a little bit. There's a little bit of like just blood in the gears of the shoulder piece, but otherwise it's pretty clean.
All right. Thank you.
I'll say, get that back to me, please, or in whatever form you can give it to me.
You got it.
So as you both set out, I will show you the way. You do encounter like just a couple of wandering corpses on your way down there, but it's not really enough for me to make you battle on the way to the watch point.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you though. You guys are on the Terrasanta map, right?
Yep.
Yes.
We'll move to. So there's this big long area down to primary watch point, all the way at the southern side of the city, and that is where you guys will go. That's not where you go, Bon. No.
Oh.
You go to imports and exports, which I will also reveal. Over here.
Yeah, I'm going with Bond too. So.
Okay.
Oh, we're going. Where are we
To
going?
save Octavia. Yeah, over there.
Mm-hmm. Fuck the city. I gotta make sure Octavia and the others are fine. Well, not the others, but just Octavia.
Yeah, I made a promise, so I figure I may as well keep it. I did give her a nod.
On your way over to the imports and exports, you actually have to march through this section. It seems like this laboratory, Lab 2, it has a hanging sign over it, but there are doors to either side of you.
Okay.
And you can actually move through this. As you do, you can glimpse there are glass panels on either side. It seems sort of like a show area, maybe where people would come, like people visiting would come just to see what they've been working on. However, to either side, all you see behind these windows are just clamoring undead faces. They're like, though they can't seem to break through the glass, they just seem to be leaning on it and looking through and seeing you. Some of them are banging on it as you pass. Just
Lovely.
sweep along past them.
Right now, I really want to kill them, but at the same time, I gotta deal with other shit.
Okay. You march right past Labo 2, over to imports and exports. Imports and exports, the railway rolls out into a vast open space, and you can see a number of these rails on here. And as you arrive, you actually find a number of platforms, which seem to be sort of geared with wheels, and they sort of glide along these rails, but they don't seem to have any source of power. They seem to be very comfortable, though. There's rails, there's places for people to sit, and they just seem to be neatly set to one side of the room. And then directly across from that is the exit. There's a doorway there which has been forced open, not to its complete maximum capacity, but just enough to get individual people through, it seems. There's no sign of any intelligent life anywhere.
I really debate trying something, and it would be funny, but I won't.
Okay.
Because probably Genius wouldn't go with it anyways, but it'd be funny.
Teamwork building exercise. Trust fall.
No thanks.
No, more sit in the cart while I punch it.
Oh.
While I make walls.
Yes. Well,
I'll get it to move.
you could probably get it to move. Actually, you can, Genus, switch your notice.
Let me see.
Oh, speaking of which, have I felt any people upcoming here?
Any people coming through here?
no. Notice is 165.
Great. You can notice that each of these is actually made to be harnessed to 4 horses, 2 on each side of the platform. Well, probably not 4 at once pulling against each other, but there's 2 harnesses on one side, 2 on the other, so that horses can drag these things along the rails.
Okay.
So he'd be pulling the thing with the strength of 2 horses that it took 2 horses to pull. However, you, sensing people, very rarely from above you, and even here, through the open door, you cannot sense anyone immediately. Give me a roll just to make sure.
What am I doing? Which roll? Notice?
Not you. This is for Ban. He's using key senses.
Oh.
Key senses. That's pretty good.
Not a great roll.
No, it's not. It's not great. It's a good roll just because you have a high base.
Sure.
No. All right. Oh, dang, that's in the base book, isn't it?
Erudition or whatever.
Well, it's technically your key detection range. Erudition doesn't. Okay, here we go. You got an absurd, which is 150 feet. You cannot sense anyone within 150 feet of you, even in the brief blips in the system where you can see through the walls.
All right.
So, what is your next course of action in this wide open room?
I suppose. Do you tell me that I could pull it?
Did you try to pull it?
Well, no, Genus. Would she tell me that I'm able to?
Yeah,
Well,
I tell her.
You would say it seems to take 2 horses to pull this.
Yeah, exactly.
Ban,
Hop on.
okay.
Alright, I say as I climb on.
You're not the one pulling it.
Yeah, she's climbed on to it as a passenger.
Yeah.
I know. No, it's the complaint part. It's like, alright, you're not the one fucking pulling it, so.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. So where are you gonna start pulling it to?
To the door.
Okay. You begin pushing. Use a strength check.
Pizza strength or strength?
Feature strength. Yeah, sorry. Could somebody tell me what he rolled while I'm looking up animals stats?
208.
Yeah,
Open
he open rolled.
Oh, fudge. Okay.
238.
Okay. You grit your teeth, and you feel a jerk above Genus as he begins rolling it right along up the towards the door. You have to like force open the door a little bit, but it will not stop you for long as he begins pushing it, and then it goes up a slight incline. Going upward now. You can see the entrance above. There seem to be a number of tracks. However, the worked quality of the walls seems to vanish at this point.
My height sucked, so
Oh, you
I wanted.
fumbled. Roll 1d100.
Yeah.
Is that the first ever fucking fumble from Janice?
I think
No,
there's been one more, but they're always for things that like
Don't matter.
it didn't really matter unless she critical fumbles.
God
Yeah,
damn
but
it.
I have good luck. But I have good luck, so it's like.
Yeah, but
It's
it was
hard
a
to
2.
critical fumble. Okay, but it wasn't a 70, which is the basis for a catastrophe. You got a 69, which all that means is that you can't find anywhere to hide here except for like underneath a chair. But what you don't realize is that your leg is sticking almost halfway off of the side of the cart. Incredibly obvious from every angle but the right angle.
Fuck it. Fuck it. I just sit in the chair.
You do not realize that you are not well hidden.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But you're riding up towards the light. You can actually see sunlight filtering through above you. There are still rails on the ground, like I said, but now the walls are not worked stone. They seem to be sort of a natural cave, marked every so often by pillars of wood to either side and a single pillar in the center between the rails.
Mhm.
And as you get near the top, Ban, you nearly stumble on what seems to be a human corpse.
Fuck.
But upon brief inspection, it seems to be pale, long dead, not recently dead, no blood coming from its wounds, and has several unusual bony appendages sprouting from its body.
Awesome. I slam my foot into it using my martial arts.
Okay,
Into it as well, just making sure.
make a martial art attack. Plus 20.
Plus 20. Gotcha. Because technically you can use your feet. So, yeah. I want to break its fucking skull.
Oh, yes. You feel a it's actually pretty durable. Like you know immediately, oh, this has more of those metal fibers because you hit its face and it's like nose caves in, but you have to keep levering your foot into it for it to actually get through the thing's head, and you do
Alright.
destroy this corpse's face. It's probably not going to be alive. Probably not going to come back.
Yeah, especially when I went through the skull.
Mhm.
Alright, cool.
So you come to about you're nearing the top of this incline, and you hear soft conversation above. Do you just want to continue right up into it?
Fuck it, yeah.
Okay. You're just continuing. You're making some noise as you go up there because you're hauling this giant wagon essentially,
Yep.
and you come over the top. Genus, you technically get the first view, but also everybody sees you immediately. What you immediately notice is that there seems to be a very nice like campsite set up here. There's even what appears to be a like small stone building at the top of this ramp.
Hmm.
However, there also seem to be accommodations for more people than it could hold. There's like a camp over to the left side. There's a couple fires, just sort of moves around. There's a number of wagons with a bunch of like obviously mechanically sealed boxes, like fancy boxes, things you've seen in the Black Sun camp.
Great.
Most of them have like tarps thrown over it, but one or two of them are like slightly pulled back. The next thing you notice is that on the ground here are several more of those corpses, as well as just a couple that you recognize from the bar.
Oh, god damn it.
However, those are the dead things you notice. Of the living things, you notice that there are actually a few people like on their knees over by the campsite on the left. and standing behind them, wielding a crossbow, is one of the militia.
Oh.
Directly
Okay.
to the right, in front of the stone building, you actually see, and the militia's not actually looking at you, he's looking at this thing, is another one of those Raziels. Not the big ones, not the ones that were with Sergei, but one of the ones you saw hold with the golden crowns. This one does not, this one lacks that crown, but it is still a tall, dark, metally armored monster with one arm covered in eyes, and it is just standing there. Its blade seems to have blood on it, but it is not moving.
I do have a question.
What is your question?
Can I throw this cart?
With that strength roll, you could, but not too far, sadly.
Far enough to hit the Raziel?
You would have to run a little forward. The Raziel, like I said, though, is not acting. It is simply standing there. And oddly enough, the militia to the left seems to be holding these other civilian-looking people, though they have very nice clothing, like very clean clothing, hostage.
This is really funny to me because I know about the berserker mode of the Raziels when they get damaged, but Ban does not.
He does not.
Great. Damn it, Ban.
Are you gonna run up and throw this thing at
You
it?
don't know shit either, so. Like,
Yeah, but you're gonna get everyone killed.
no, I'm not gonna. If I was in range, I would fucking tackle a motherfucker, but.
He is standing by the door to that stone building.
I'm gonna barrel forward a bit. I'm gonna say that one gonna attack.
It hasn't, not since. He like slowly looks up, sees the leg. Genus, is that you?
I can tell those sexy legs anywhere. Just fucking
No,
tells by the legs.
can't tell
Yeah.
just by the legs, but
Damn it! I was never good at hiding. Yeah, Gina says that she gets out from under the chair, the table, the chair.
he actually smells. Well, you're in a poor line of work, but I'm glad you brought Ban. Octavia is inside.
Mm-hmm.
She'll explain. The Raziel hasn't attacked anyone who's gone through that door yet. Except for when we first got here.
I know.
Okay.
Okay, so are you going to walk past the Raziel?
Yeah.
All right. You walk past it, and all of its eyes on its one, like, red, like, swollen arm sort of, like, turn to look at you. Their sclera are black, their iris is a keening yellow, but you can see like little blood vessels running through them, and it's very discomforting. But you walk right on by, and the door is open. On the floor of the room you enter, it does seem to be another like one of those rooms. This almost seems to be a vacation house. But then just behind it is like a warehouse sort of thing. So you could sort of sit here and then look out the window, and you can see all the stock that you'd have to put into the building or into the facility.
Quick question.
Yes.
Did they have horses?
There are several horses. I
So
forgot to
they-
mention that. They're
they
lined
know-
up behind the camp.
They know how much force it takes to drag the cart, and I'm just doing it by myself.
Well, the militia might not, but the scientists do. That said, as you walk into this room, the far wall is a lineup of individuals who look like they come from some sort of like cult. They are both like pretty equally finely dressed. Many of them have glasses, and they all seem to be very clean, except for there's a lot of dirty knees, and one or two of them you see is wounded.
Mm-hmm.
And standing like as you walk into the room, Gina's first or is Bond first?
I'm first.
Okay. Gina's.
What the fuck? No, because I'm pulling it.
Well,
So
the
I'm not-
cart can't go into this room. The cart cannot follow you into this room.
Exactly.
Well, then Bond is.
The rails end just as you like get outside.
Gotcha. Bond's first. He's actually faster, so.
All right. In that case, you hear Bond, And then immediately as Genus enters, you hear Genus! And then just to the right, you see Macklin standing there with his enormous crossbow, just sort of sitting against the wall, but he quickly stands up as he sees the two of you come in. I'm glad to
Hey.
see you made it out.
Yeah, we're still working on the zombie problem, apparently. What have you guys been doing besides doing here?
Being ditched by whoever you sent us with. That woman left as soon as they saw us.
God damn it. I glare at Bon.
Let me see. I wish I
That
could.
thing
achieve
outside
this.
killed Cleo and wounded Stem. But
Aw.
it was only thanks to Octavia that they didn't kill the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
She's
I'm
upstairs, by the way.
I'm trying to sense for the one girl.
You cannot send. You wouldn't. You have recognized Lily as
Yep.
Mark, and you do not sense her anywhere.
Good. Well, Bon, looks like your friend tried almost got my friends killed. Gina says as she goes upstairs to go see Octavia.
Well, if it wasn't for this tunnel and her knowledge, then they would have been killed by zombies eventually. Which
Mm-hmm.
You walk upstairs, and there's like a number of rooms here. This seems to be almost like a bunking area, despite how nice the downstairs looked. It's a little cramped up here, but it doesn't take you long to notice the one open door. And peeking inside, you see Octavia, who is like sitting beside a man who is kneeling on the ground, and you see that he is like pretty bloody. He's got a lot of wounds, and she's whispering something to him, and you see her like lightly poising a dagger against his back. But then you enter, and her eyes like snap up, and she says, "Lucky you," and pulls the dagger away, and like staggers to her feet.
Hey, Tavia, Ghost said you guys might be having trouble. I guess he didn't know what he was talking about.
Oh, if he knew us, we wouldn't be very good criminals.
Yeah. Still, I was. Still, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that one. I'm sorry that chick ditched you guys after you guys got out the tunnel.
I sort of expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So who's this guy? I said. Gina says as she goes over to stand next to Tavi and look down at him.
Well, he's an assistant sign. He's the assistant. Hold on, I'm looking for the name of the title of what Sergei was called. Nope, he's just a high researcher. This is assistant master researcher Alfred Embers, and he was just helping me figure out more about what happened underneath our city.
Oh, sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
Need any help?
I think I've got this under control. Though I was only letting us sit here for so long because I was waiting to see when you would emerge. And now that you're here, I think it's time we put this city behind us.
I look to her. I look to her and I say, well, tempting idea. I say, even though I know them, even though I know the guys are waiting for me to come back. So what? We just ditch the place?
That's the idea. The horseman or the horseman's armory seems ready to break down the wall if that's what it takes.
Well, they do have a plan. They do have a plan to like take down whatever enchantment walls around the city so the army can get in. I say, I muse aloud. Oh, you know the old man, the chick with the cloak, Bon. They. Oh, by the way, I say as I look back to Alfred, we killed your boss.
His like face is obviously a little worse for one of his eyes is and shut. The other one you can see is like blinking away a few flecks of blood, and he like just kind of looks up at you and gives you a very slow nod and looks back at the ground.
Yeah, we also killed your death god. It died.
He. If you want to make a straight up perception check, a 1d10 plus your perception.
Perception. So R1d10. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
is that yours? Oh, you already did. Yeah.
That's mine.
Oh, that's yours. Oh, are you in the room? Did you walk upstairs with her?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
Damn it, Bond.
Bond's like looming over your shoulder.
Oh no, I've been trying to like say something. Does he have long hair?
No, he does not. He is a rather short-haired, like almost like thinning on the top man.
Damn, what a shame. I wanted to do something cool.
You okay? Well, still, I didn't know you had 10 perception. So both of you can sort of like see his like eye widen, and even the other one like twitch a little bit. He like scans the ground. You can tell he's in incredibly deep thought right now.
Yeah.
But he still says nothing because Tavi's like looking at him. Well, that's quite a step up from what I thought you were going to do in there.
Yeah. I mean, I did pretty good until it started singing, and I almost died. You probably noticed I look a little bit worse for wear.
I was going to ask, but I felt it rude too in present company.
Mm.
You're a little, and she will like reach out and like just gently pinch your wrist, and like as she pulls, like there's obviously a lot of extra skin there. You're a
Yeah.
little wrinkly.
I'll get better with time. Apparently, I'll get back to full health in time. Apparently, but yeah. I mean, apparently we have a way to like drop the shield so that the armies can come in and attack easier. So, at least they do. So.
Well, good for them.
Mm.
That will most certainly be a boon to all of those poor people trapped within the city. So are you ready to go?
It's such a shame that you can only carry so much and that Gabriel has to carry so much of the valuable things that we picked up in the underground.
Didn't Gabriel? She's with us right now, isn't she?
Fuck.
I thought you said Gabriel with us.
Yeah.
So we just kidnapped the familiar now. I don't think that's possible.
No.
I pause and I think, and I'm like, hey Gabriel, can you give me my stuff? I look back to Tavi. I looted a lot of good stuff down there. There's like a lot of valuable things down there.
Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a couple of these wagons if after we take a couple of their horses.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm gonna pat Genius on the shoulder. I'm gonna say, if you leave, I do not think any worse of you.
Okay. Bye.
All right, is Gina's gonna saddle up with her friends?
Yeah. After Gabriel gives me all my shit.
Gabriel give you all of the cred.
So by all of your shit, you mean the stuff you I don't remember what you picked up. So we already gave all of the crossbows to those people.
Except for like one and some bolts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up a lot of tools. I picked up a lot of shiny things.
Yeah. Oh, the lab equipment. Yeah, I give you that. Can I have all of the bolts back, please?
Why do you get the bolts?
Because they're magical, and Jorl can make something very useful out of them.
Is this what Gabriel is communicating through?
Yes.
Fine. How many bolts were there?
50.
50?
Yeah.
I give him 40. I take 10.
Well, now,
I know how to count.
Well, also, there are many of them that were given to Macklin and the others, right? Or did you take all of them?
They didn't get any of the undead killing bolts because we were taking all of them to kill Ragnarok.
Oh, okay. I thought you had given like them some bolts each.
No.
Oh.
So
no.
more people would have died.
Yeah.
So more people would have been dead.
Then There might have been another casualty issue.
But yes, I'm Gabriel. After she picks up after she makes the 40 disappear, extends her hand, expecting more, saying, she says, I know how to count.
I'm keeping 10. Fuck you.
You're unlikely to come across other undead, but if you want, Jorl could make something much more useful for you out of these.
No,
Well,
I'm keeping 10.
it's okay. No, cloaks of invisibility aren't that useful, anyways. Ban, are we going to meet up with the others now?
That would be the idea.
All right.
It seems that the woman that I'm searching for is not here, which is an annoyance.
Well, despite were you looking for her for more information, or because you promised to take her out of the city?
She's already out of the city. She's long gone. She ditched all these people to die.
Yeah.
It's a matter of both. Plus, I need a letter sent.
Well, we'll have to find another way to send you a letter. Let's go.
I nod.
All right, so you guys are gonna turn around, and Genus is gonna chill out with her friends and get ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, sorry. Genus, for the next hour or so, you are going to be helping everybody pack up, get horses hitched to the wagons. The Macklin and the others are taking very little precautions with these scientists, and most of them wound up like tied together. Half of them are unconscious in the one room where Octavio is interrogating Arthur. It's very uncomfortable in there right now, but she will explain. Apparently, beyond Arthur's command, if this monster does not see anyone harm him, it will not attack us. So we should be safe until he unties himself and gets down here.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
All right.
As long as we're long gone from this place.
Oh, we will be. And no worse for Rare aside from one lost friend.
Yeah. Fucking Lillian. I'll fucking cut her arm off or something the next time we see her.
We may see her sometime. And the rest of you begin to ride off on the wagons into the distance on stolen horses. Down below, Gabriel and Zemnis are heading back through the tunnels. However, before that, Jorl and Omen will arrive at the primary watchpoint.
I'm actually faster than horse, so I just my own body.
Oh, you're not on the horse. You're just running. I think you're as fast as a horse. What's your athleticism?
10. Oh, athleticism?
Yes.
Athleticism is 100.
You you are as fast as a horse, but you can run for longer.
Okay. God, I've been doing so many things in front of people that can just more spread my fame, which is great.
But you, like, to these guys, you're already Bond the Unkillable, so it's like, that's probably normal.
Yeah. Fair.
Anyways, you begin your trek through the tunnels. And it won't take you too long at running speed. However, down below, well, down south technically, not necessarily below anything, but the sea. Jorl and Omen, you have taken a long, dark trek through the city tunnels to arrive at this point. And when you do, it's a little underwhelming. The watch point doesn't seem to be that big of a room at all compared to the massive sprawling laboratory that was each and every other point you come to. This is a single room. And on this room, it seems to be just a whole bunch of those control boxes. And then there seem to be a number of like other scientific apparatuses, metal that sort of springs from the ground and coils into interesting shapes just against the wall. Though at the moment, most of it seems to be inactive. And Owen will say, over here. It's, he told me it would be far in the back of the room. And as you bring it over, there does seem to be, you remember the little orb panel that had the little sliding slates on it?
Mm-hmm.
That was in every single room. There seems to be one of those, only extends up directly from the floor. And you'll also notice that as this thing, it extends into the stone ground, it seems to be made of different material than the obviously like black steel mechanical things around it. If you want, you can make an occult or magic appraisal roll. Iterate is with us, so she can do that.
Yep. I'm gonna make an occult check because I have just a little bit more in occult.
Yeah. Oh, hold on a minute. Omen is fumbling magical appraisal. Oh wow.
Oh no.
And I'm open rolling occult.
That's impossible. All right. Taking a look at this thing, it's like almost silvery in a lot of places. It's and the top the orb with the sliding slates is gold, and just sort of peering up and down it, you realize that whatever this is was Sylvan in make. This wasn't made here. This was here for a while.
Ooh. It's also magical, isn't it?
It is.
All right. So apart from knowing that it's Sylvan, is that all I can tell?
With the magic appraisal would tell you more, because all you can really see is the pedestal with your normal eyes. 88 or 71. You can sense that it is magical. You can sense that whatever magic it is made with is like incredibly refined. You can't quite tell exactly what it does, but you can tell that it is more complex than any magic Iterate knows how to cast, or most of the people you've met.
Okay. So yeah, it's
you can also tell that it is tied to water, whatever it is.
okay. That makes sense. Yeah. So I'm gonna let Omen follow the instructions that she got from Ghost Guy.
All right. She pulls out the shield and like holds it out and looks at it and says, "This thing needs to be in hand form."
There has to be a button or something to put it in hand form. Let's try it out.
All right. Are you gonna just roll like an intelligence check or perception check? Yours is probably intelligence is way higher, but just
Just by 1 point. I rolled really, really high for the stats on
Even though you're
Joro.
blind, you still have great perception.
Yeah. 13 intelligence.
All right. 13 intelligence. You do not see the operating switch. Let me see if Omen can see something like that. Her intelligence also. Omen is also looking around this thing, and she's very confused. Actually, you made a really good magic appraisal check on this thing, didn't you?
I only got 71 on magic appraisal.
Okay.
But Iterate rolled a 16 on intelligence to find a switch.
Oh yeah, I forgot Iterate. Okay. Iterate looks at this thing. She sees no button, but her head sort of concocts this plan, and you can see like she sort of bends the shoulder piece a little bit, and you can see the entire thing collapses just an ounce or two. And as she sort of bends it and like maneuvers it back underneath the back of the shield, it sort of takes a vague arm shape. And from there, you can sort of just force the individual pieces into their correct positions for the arm.
Nice.
So you now have this arm, and she says, "Okay." And Elma tries to fit her arm into it, and her hand is making sure that I'm right about this, but I'm pretty sure her hand is really small. Yes, her hand is very small comparatively.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she slides it inside, and with some sort of difficulty, she places it on the thing, on the pedestal. And she slowly turns it, and you can see it sort of like tick, tick, tick by tick. It sort of moves to the left. She has to use her other hand to push up and down the slates because she can't move the middle fingers very well.
Mm-hmm.
But slowly, you hear a number of ticks from the pedestal, and then at one point you hear a massive thunk from somewhere in the building. And at that exact moment, your magic senses open up. Omen's eyes like flash forward, and she looks at just straight at the wall. I'd like you to make a magic appraisal check too.
Okay. Magic appraisal.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Omen.
Wow.
It's not critical.
All right.
Jesus.
I rolled 145.
You are suddenly wary as when the magical field falls. Not only can you sense, you can sort of get this breath that you can sense the outside of this room. You sense there's a light, like some magic over here, and that's sort of interesting. But you also sense that there is a magical system running along the walls of Terrasanta, and it's pretty noticeable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not long after this happens, though, you feel the magical energies powering it run out from here, and then start to spread from post to post along the walls.
All right.
Ban, you also can realize pretty quickly that as you're moving through, you sense a couple of people like on the surface. There is no more obscuring field.
Okay. Well, that is ideal.
And you have no way of sensing what's happening to the walls, but Omen looks at him and says, "I think it worked."
Yes.
I mean, it worked. Of course it worked.
I turn to the silver sphere. How big is it?
The sphere is gold. The pedestal is silver.
How big?
It is about chin height with Omen. Omen is so it's a couple feet tall.
I'll have to get Gabriel to come back to take it because.
Well, now without
take it.
Without the obscuring field, you can actually sense that whatever energies this thing has course down into the ground and then spread out to the walls. So this system seems to continue onwards.
Yeah.
This silver pedestal might just be the tip of the iceberg, and this system might extend further.
Yeah, it might be a giant artifact, but since that's the power source, that could have been used to make new and better artifacts.
Perhaps so.
Now, how is it generating Xeon? Now, that's a question that I'd like to know, because not a lot of things can generate Xeon apart from living creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna touch it.
Alright. You touch the thing, and you wiggle your fingers all over it, and it leaves little finger marks. Other than that, you don't even feel like that charge of Xeon anymore.
Yeah, so it's not a creature sealed inside. Okay, I turn to Omen, fill her up on the fact that Genus is not gonna be is planning to just leave the city. So I'm gonna ask her if she's going to need help. With going to the surface and like casting control the undead to try to stop them from killing people, because like Gabriel Idrid could go with her.
She's Omen. She says, "No, Farron and I will be fine. We don't need your help."
All right. In this case, I'm gonna tell Ban through Gabriel to meet me, and we're going to investigate the murder. Oh, also it's a bit of a shame that Genus left before I could exercise her daggers.
Yes. We now have a talking dagger for quite some time.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's also just going to be stuck in there. So, will in the time, will you tell whatever's in the dagger that Jorl is gone?
I basically tell her that I'm ditching the city and Joel stuff.
He is the one that bound me to this weapon. Yes.
Yeah.
He is the one who then possesses the capability to release me.
Yep.
Instead of kill, it's just back.
Well, sorry, I'm not going back into that city. I'm leaving. Unless he can release you through that familiar of his.
Where already gone?
Well, yeah, the Gabriel's already gone with that.
Well, too late.
Shit.
It will say, well, perhaps, if you are willing, we can work on a little deal.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking at this point we're going to be stuck with each other, so I guess we'll figure it out. Plus, I'm sure we could find someone to get you out of my dagger. So
that is what I aimed. And don't worry, I've been listening to you. I think I can make it worth your while. And so we're going to that's just a little bit of side conversation. Where are you guys meeting together?
Probably back at Central.
Okay, meeting back at Central. Everybody. Ban, in that case, you were like already running down this like tunnel, and you're like, oh man, and I gotta go back.
Yeah, because right now what we're trying to do is actually, what are we trying to do? Because we don't need to solve the murder anymore. Because we need to find. I know what we need to do. We need to find other clues of other operations of Black Sun, so we can finish destroying the other facilities that they might have like this that could hurt a lot of people.
Oh, very good point.
Yep.
Yeah.
And artifacts, but that's just the player speaking.
No, that's me trying to make sure that I don't feel, or I try to feel, for that fucking thing that I saw.
You
past us.
You come back to Central, reaching out with your key senses. You actually like feel a little flicker of life, like a rat running across the surface, like 50 or 60 feet over your head. Ping, ping. No human-sized objects.
Damn.
That reminds me. I have to ask Octavia if she knows an assassin with gray eyes or whatever.
Oh, if you are not reminded by this conversation, but we can say over your trip that you asked. She like squints and says, "Why did you need me to find out?"
Yeah, so some guy. There was an assassin down there that actually killed what's his name? Head scientist guy. And for some reason, he's really fast and shadow-like kind of thing. He can slip in and out.
If it interests you, I'll take a look. I don't know what you intend to gain by finding him.
Oh, fucker.
Yeah.
If he has what I think he has, fuck.
Just called an interest. Yeah.
Well, understood.
Yeah.
And then back to Central. Yep, you do not sense it, and you are back in any of the chambers you'd like. Are you just looking? Are you just exploring?
Yeah, we're gonna look around and try to search like for clues for the installations. Try to understand like the system that like recharges magic, and we're gonna recharge a couple of more rods on this. I'm gonna try to figure out if the recharge stations are connected or not, because I'm gonna because like on my way back from the primary watch point, I'm going to be recharging them at the at lab 3 until it's drained, and as I rush back, trying to calculate if it also drained the other station
All right.
or not. So like I'm
Question.
You do what, Ben?
Do you tell me that you're gonna be a while?
it's not gonna take very long because I just have to put the rods in there and out. So like it's not gonna. But since you're very fast, yeah, I'll probably tell you. Gabriel will mention that it's gonna take a second.
Gotcha. I'm gonna come back to the areas where the dead were just looking out and then kill them.
All right. Do you want to? It is essentially like another horde of zombies. What's your movement speed?
10.
Oh, your movement speed is pretty high. For the sake of brevity, brevity I think is the right word. I'm going to have you roll just 2 rolls, because
Okay.
technically it is entirely possible for you to kite these zombies down the tunnel and have relatively no chance of being hurt.
Fair enough. Alright, what am I rolling?
Roll 1 with your attack bonus and 1 with your defense bonus.
1 with my attack bonus, 1 with my defense.
Yes.
1 attack, 1 defense.
Yes.
Alright. And then I'll put.
It quickly comes to your attention that these are just zombies. Like you don't find any Raziels hidden in the. Ooh, I'm sorry. I almost ran over my chair, but don't worry, she's fine.
Oh.
I didn't run over her, but I forgot that she was underneath my blanket. Anyways. Yes. So that's good attack. That's good defense. You are almost backed up to central. Like as Juro comes around, he is going to see like a number of dead bodies, like just in the tunnel leading down from where Aban came. So it took you a while. However, even on the rare chance when the zombies try to like circle around you, claws are barely effective if they touch you at all. I'm gonna say that you lose just like roll an athleticism for me. Could somebody tell me what that was while I'm looking in my
183.
Oh dang! Okay, that's really good. Do we even lose 1? No. Okay, don't worry about it. You're fine.
Awesome.
You march back to Central, feeling accomplished and destroying a whole bunch of zombies.
Yep. Was there any good loot inside the rooms?
There's more laboratory. It would take you a considerable amount of time to search the whole thing.
Alright. Then yeah, I'll tell Jura all about it.
Okay.
All right.
You guys can go back and look through it later.
All right.
Yep.
So,
Hey, by the way,
do the stations empty out together and
Yes.
okay.
They seem to be coming from a central power source, and you can tell that they are refilling.
That
So
makes sense.
while that the Sylvain artifact seemed to release all of its energy, these things seem to be connected to another power source.
Okay. How much Xeon points have we recovered with those sticks?
Look,
blue.
another 600.
Okay. I gave like the first 600 to Omen, so she can so that she could cast control the undead as many times as she needed.
By the way, the only way up to the surface that you guys know of is through imports and exports and through the one old laboratory up here. So that's where she has gone.
Yep.
Gotcha.
That makes sense. We've also probably like set up a meeting place outside of the city for us to meet again once like we're done doing our own things.
Yes. And you know
Probably
right now that
down this road. Actually,
aside-
no.
What do
Probably down this road, north. The north road.
yeah.
Okay.
What's going down that road?
That's probably where we would meet.
Meeting point.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Do we have the person that can give me fatigue or no?
Yeah.
Gabriel was with you the entire time.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Please give me
By the
fatigue.
way, you will remember that you actually will gain 2 points of fatigue on your own.
That's
Gabriel
right.
too. Gabriel too gains 2 points of
Yes.
fatigue.
Awesome.
Everybody gains some fatigue.
Good.
Alright, I'm 7 off from topping up.
Another hour has passed, and that's why I gave you that fatigue. Now, so I will say that you guys are now tired, except for Ban. No, Ban, you don't have that ability. All of you are tired. -10 to everything.
Okay.
-5. No, I don't think that actually happens to potential.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you recover 4 points of fatigue.
Actually, I don't think Gabriel gets tired, does she?
She.
Does she have physical exemption?
Physical exception, yes.
Yeah, she does get tired. All right.
You should have recovered all of your fatigue.
Awesome.
Okay.
Oh wait, has it been another hour? So have we healed?
Yeah, if you heal
If you-
by the hour.
If you heal by the hour like a monster. Okay. And then we search around. We try to find more clues.
I
Alright.
just that area that I cleared out.
Sure.
How long do you want to dedicate to this search? Because you know, if you want to go through all of the details, like most of the searches you've done through the archives in the old lab and other places have been rushed because you didn't want to.
Yeah.
How long are you going to dedicate to looking through this whole lab?
I think what we're good when it comes to documents, skim through them if they're research documents, and like Gabriel can if there's anything that we think might have a clue, Gabriel will absorb it and we'll move on. I think I'm very interested in like finding out about all of the different places, all of the different tunnels. So I think we should also head up north to see what's up there, and probably what's under the garden that that Omen saw earlier, because Gabriel was with him. Was with Omen when she was finding out about like that there was something underground underneath the garden. So we need to have a look at those things.
All right. So is your search going to start with Lab 2?
Yeah. We haven't been to Lab 2.
Other than Ban killing the things right outside? Yes. Okay, make your search checks for Lab 2. And by the way, I would like you to give me like a number of time and hours that you want to spend searching this place.
I don't know how big Lab 2 is.
Lab
I
2
would
is
say an hour
is
to
slightly
2.
smaller than Central, but it does seem to be expensive enough to require a little bit of space. There you go.
So
17.
probably hour to 2 hours.
If you want to name that time, that sounds fine. Oh, who's
Yeah.
this?
That is it, Jared.
All right.
Ooh, wait, no,
That
that's
was the
Search?
1C100.
Can we roll notice or search? Do we have to roll search?
If you're just walking around as a bodyguard, you can say you roll notice, but search will generally be better.
yeah.
Gotcha.
It's usually a higher difficulty if it's not the skill that the GM asked for.
Like, notice is generally 2 difficulties higher than any search check. But anyways, with whoever rolled that 166,
Idarid.
Edorid is looking through these books. You know, she kind of has an affinity for books, considering they are made of her. And
Oh my god!
she finds in Lab O2 there seem to be like a lot of ledgers in Lab O2 that aren't actually specifically necromantic creations. And there are some of those, but you do find that Lab O2 is for like the finishing touches on most things. This is where a lot of experiments go before being shipped back to what they will just call is headquarters, HQ.
Okay.
And above that, it does not say. However, you do take a look and through those ledgers, and you will see like there are a number of smaller installations in between there and here that they will sort of have as like outposts and storage facilities and things like that. You can gather a few of those with that 100. However,
Nice.
apart from that, you will like delve a little bit deeper into the archives and find that Lab O2 was originally Lab O1. And after a number of sort of bureaucratic arguments and considerations, as the facility expanded, it became Lab O2. And within Lab O2, you can find several maps, which don't tell you about this. There is an area south that you are missing that I like, launch site O2. However, it will tell you the space of the northern areas, which I will reveal. Whee! It's gonna be revealed in a real. Oh no! It just. Cool, I can
Oh,
reveal that one.
Jesus.
Yes.
Okay.
It will also detail.
Which is that? Does that just end?
No, sorry, I didn't see them. Launch site 01 is over here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Launch site 1. Oh, interesting.
Yes. And in these notices about like the turmoil about it, you will find out that one of the major reasons for the construction, you can see there are 2 tracks, and instead of just going straight to Central, they sort of go this wide path around the park. It mentions there is a coven of supernatural organisms, maybe related, and it will say up front, perhaps related to the organization Samael, hidden beneath the park, and it has been like a whole issue building this around them without them noticing.
So for people watching this, Samael is the organization of supernatural creatures that have banded together to escape the Inquisition, and some of them want to coexist with humanity, and some of them want to destroy humanity. Both of which are pretty fair considering how they've been treated.
Thank you. I had no idea about this.
Oh yeah, sorry. Well, you would not with your occult score, but Jorl knows automatically with his.
Oh.
So that is why there's this weird blank area between Lab 1 Central and Launch Site 1. It's because they were trying their very best to stay out of their range.
All right.
And they do say that a lot of the construction and administrative documents are in Central, but have also been shifted to Lab 01.
Okay, so I'm going to suggest we head to Lab 01 after that. Are there any artifacts around here? No.
You with that search check, you do find another room where you store those rods. There seem to be a constant everywhere.
Nice.
You get another 8.
Aha!
Damn.
That is great.
That is great.
3 of which are charged, so 100.
23 and so that's 900. Okay. Yes. At this point, like the rest of the magic is not going to Omen. Omen already has like some magic to do that. How hurt do you look?
105 is the most I can take.
Well, hold on a minute.
Wait,
Now...
no, that's not what I asked. I asked how hurt do you look?
Oh. I look like I should pretty much be unconscious
Okay.
/ dead, depending on the person.
For reference, if I may,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but last time you saw him, like in a state that you decided to heal him, he had like gashes so deep in his chest that you could just vaguely see rib bone. Like I said, he should not have been walking. He should not have been alive at that point, but he seemed to be fighting at almost full capacity. This time it's a bit different. You've mended those deep gashes. However, as you're like looking at him, his white hair doesn't clash so much with his face anymore. He's almost completely pale. You wouldn't be too surprised if it turned out he was a zombie as well. Even like looking at him in the eyes, you cannot see blood flowing through his sclera. You cannot see like his hands are completely white. He seems to have given a whole lot of his blood to the blood rose.
Oh my god. Okay. Nothing.
Even his gums are kind of pale.
So, like, does he seem worse than last time?
Not worse, but he still seems like this is a walk-in corpse.
Okay, I'm gonna heal you 150 life points.
Okay.
Woo. Remember your sacrifice.
Yeah, of course. That's why I was saying I can only take 105.
Oh yeah.
So that's one.
Wait, you actually sacrificed more than your positive HP to the
What?
You sacrificed 40, and then 34 HP, I believe.
To the blood rose.
Blood rose. And that's not sacrifice, but that is like just blood you've lost to her.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you actually put yourself into the negatives, giving the blood rose health.
Oh no, I was at 0.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I left myself at 0 precisely.
Okay. Very good. Well, now he immediately regains that healthy glow, and he like comes back to life. There seems to be something a little bit off about him now, but you can't really tell because it seems like you've only seen him wounded since you've met.
Yeah. That was very generous of you what you did for the blood rose.
I nod and say, well, if I had to feed off of something and someone had the only thing that I could eat, I would ask them to give me it.
Well, not everybody asks, and not everybody is willing to give. So.
I nod.
Okay. Yep, let's go to lab 1.
Do lab 1. Zoom right on over there if you'd like, and then you guys are gonna make another search check through lab 1.
Okay.
Yep.
Can you describe how it is a little bit so that we get a vague idea?
As you're moving through the tunnels, or just at lab 1?
At lab 1.
At lab 1. All right.
Oh,
Good
by the way,
roll.
did I sense anything key wise? Oh, that was a terrible roll. Key wise, well, in lab 2.
Let me make a check. Oh, okay. You did not sense anything that would immediately alarm you. However, it might be common for you to know that you did sense, at one point, several human shapes like curled up and like close and adjacent to each other, above ground. So like there are still humans alive up there.
Okay, that is good. How far up is the ground?
The ground, it sort of varies. Around central, it was between like 60 to 80 feet. As you move down this tunnel, it gets a little bit more shallow. Like it seems to be like a 50-foot max until you get to lab 1.
I mean, like, for lab 2.
Oh, lab 2? Lab 2 was like 50 to 80 feet. It was pretty close to central.
Alright. Because I was debating, I was like, what if I just drop down onto me?
That would be difficult for anyone to drop down onto you from there. You get to lab 01, however. And this is another one that seems to be a little bit, like, bigger. It doesn't follow quite the same diagram as all the other ones did. This one seems to be like one long causeway, one long area upon which the left is mostly labs and the mostly like circled in catwalks. This seems to be a lot more. It almost seems to be able to hold large amounts of scientists rather than large amounts of experiments. And a good portion of it is just rooms full of like tables and like those holders for zombies. And in here, it actually has a particular like what is the word? Bio odor in a lot of these rooms that hasn't really been everywhere else. I would like. What was your highest service check? Was it that 113?
That was the highest one by Gabriel.
All right. You walk through these areas. You like peek into the labs are pretty clean right now. It does seem like they got this one sort of cleaned up before they left. You do find a number of those elevators that lead down to who knows where. However, there are a number of lab fixtures as well, where it seems like scientists would walk around and look at things through microscopes or through whatever objects they had on hand. Not really microscopes; they don't have electron microscopes or anything like that in the common era. But more places for individuals to move around, not necessarily looking at massive monsters that they have created. And that biosmell persists here as well. So
by biosmell, you mean it doesn't stink of undead, but instead it stinks of something else?
Yeah, sort of like you in some places it almost smells like human sweat.
Okay.
And they're actually very like smaller elevators, and you only realize they're elevators after a little bit of inspection, but like that are into the walls, sort of like shafts. What are those? Like pulley shafts that are in old mansions where it goes down, and but not for an organism, but for just like an object-sized thing to be sent up from below. That's the visual representation of this place. However, as you go all the way into the back, there actually seem to be a number of offices, like where people would sit at desks and write things down. Very nice. Then open like lab archives. And as you look through there, you do find that this was a place where several of the higher ups stayed for a majority of their time until the Song of Undeath was brought to them. Oh, by the way, Kendrick, sorry for this small derailment. I looked it up. According to the basic handbook, the copies of the Book of the Dead do have a small part of the original manuscript.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's spookier now.
Yeah, it's much spookier now, indeed.
I was going to say the part that it comes with, in that case, I can continue with this, which is what I had, if that's okay. It's not going to curse you or anything. But the part that you know is from the original manuscript is specifically that which describes the Song of Undeath, the body that allows you to create that.
All right. So my bad on that aspect.
That's fine. It makes sense since it's an unbreakable artifact. But until they started working on the Song of Undeath, all of the administration generally hung out here. And you also learn very quickly that this lab in particular is more dedicated to study the transfer from life to necrotic energy. This is where a lot of test subjects were taken and turned into either necromantic versions of themselves or killed or studied in the process between becoming a living and an undead creature. Right. So that would explain to you where the more human biosmell comes from, is that there are a lot of humans contained here for a significant portion of time. As such, you find that there aren't quite as many necromantic circles, nothing to really like bolster the energy of them. It's mostly like a biology lab.
Got it, yeah.
And those rooms that have the catwalks around them were for a combination of interactions between the humans and undead, and recently turned beings or beings they were watching in the transferring state allowed to roam the room.
Okay.
In that, though, you do have a map, even with that roll, of the rest of the Oop, that's not what I want to do. The rest of the facility. Darn it, stop that.
Coming out of imported exports, I suppose.
Yes, there's one coming out of exports. There's also just a little bit everywhere else. And you also learn. Whoops. Did I just make those things invisible?
I didn't. Nothing became visible.
Oh, I did so. Okay, gotcha. I changed the layer I was viewing, not the layer things were on.
Okay, and there isn't. So it's lab 4. Okay.
4. And then also, if you look south of lab 2 or lab 3, on site 2 is there.
Yeah, lab 3 is here. Okay.
There's a single other part which you will find out is that they have been planning to increase the construction out towards the original lab, is what they would call it, to the northeastern side of the city.
Okay.
Which is labeled as right around where the Warhound Plaza is. So apparently that is called the original lab. It has no name in any of the other maps. And they are planning some construction of another lab, lab 5, I believe, just out to the north of that area. And now you can see that.
Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah, but like since we didn't see it, we didn't find it. There's got to be like another like it probably doesn't exist, right?
You actually, when you were moving along, you know how you saw the hunter, and there were 2 rails.
Oh yeah, that's the other rail. Got it.
The north rail going right was going to the construction.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, I think we should go to both the launch site and Lab 4, but I also wanted to find out how Genus is doing and if Genus is gonna stay in the campaign with us, because that would be a shame if we had like 2 splitting campaigns or something.
Yes. Genus, unfortunately, as it is right now, depending on how long this session goes, I don't know if Genus is going to turn around and come back anytime soon. Genus is just sort of roaming with her friends, and it will take a couple days to get where she's going to go.
Yeah, my internet cut out. So like, what?
We were just making sure that we knew about like where you were going to be.
Yeah.
And so you know,
Mm.
you're going north on the road to Enkidu, or you're going north on the road to. You're going to swing around and go north on the road to Port Amphora,
All right.
where you know that Octavia has another sort of like area of strength. But it's going to be several days before you reach there, and you're going to be stopping at a few little towns along the way.
Yep.
And at the moment, there doesn't seem to be anything. You guys are. It's been like an hour or two, a couple hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours now since you searched Lab 1, since they've gone down there, and you have actually seen the city slowly vanish into the distance behind you.
Okay.
You might be talking to Bloodrose a while.
Well, I've also been up for a long time. I'm probably gonna sleep first before talking to Bloodrose.
Indeed.
Hey, guess what? I get to sleep. And I'm not being accosted by zombies. This is great.
It is pretty great. Roll a D10 plus your willpower.
Roll 1. What's
Oh,
my
your willpower is 8, which is pretty good. Okay. You sleep soundly. Despite all of the weird things, despite fighting a death god, you don't even have a nightmare about it.
Yep.
Except for just one time when you're dreaming about like sitting on a mountain of gold, you look at one piece of gold and it has this like distraught human face, and you throw it away and you're like, nope, not thinking about it.
Nope, not thinking about that. Not with all the gold I have, because I'm so awesome as a thief.
Yes.
And I got
away.
away. Yeah, I made so much money and I got out.
Freedom. So
Thief
yes.
goals.
Well, I don't necessarily, and I feel bad keeping you around for the moment, Genus. If you, I don't know if you want to like tap out for a moment, but I will call you if you come back in, which is a distinct possibility, and we might see what happens. That
Yeah.
shortly.
Okay.
Okay. Uh,
Just quick question: do you want Genus as a character to stay in this campaign? Do you want to make another character like that's also like important? Is would
Actually, I have plans to rejoin you guys later after you leave the city. So.
Okay, cool.
there is
Yeah.
a plan. It just, it'll be after we leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. In this case, I personally don't have that much to do in the city. I think Omen might have some stuff to do, but personally, after we've checked out Lab 4, the rest of the places that we meant to check out, and after I've stolen as many artifacts as I could, I think we're just gonna like meet Omen up north and leave. What about
Alright.
Ban? Is there anything else you want to do in the city apart from all that?
No. I'm just walking around using key sense to try to find her. But if I don't, then not interested in the city.
Yeah.
And I need to go north, so that's why I set up the location to be the meetup to be north.
Everby?
Yes.
What color were Lilium's eyes?
I believe I said hers were green.
Okay.
Yes.
Cause she disappeared around the time that the assassination happened.
It is true.
So that's why.
Yeah, but
Alright.
even I was able to track her. So and like I wasn't able to get a trace of this guy. So.
Yeah, there's totally the possibility that someone could be hiding their powers from us. I was hiding powers from the rest of the group with the Wheel of Fortune, for example.
Which now is known by one dead man.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to like sort of speed up the search? You guys do want to search, but we just take as many artifacts as you can.
I mean, like if there's like other important details for the rest of the story you want to convey through the things that we like through the places we search through, we can talk about it. But otherwise, I feel like we just search. I don't know, like because we have the map of the other Blackstone outposts, which is I feel the most important thing that we came for. Now.
Yes, and that is true. I just have a couple of things that you do know that you like as you look through the place. You become keenly aware, actually searching Lab 1, of a place that is referred to almost globally as the Vaults. And the Vaults are an additional layer below the city, below even the laboratory, where vast amounts of where bodies and necromantic beings, their failed ones, are stored, as well as spare items used to create them, spare machines they have created and failed to use.
Okay. And
Various things, and the only way to access those areas is via these elevators.
okay.
Well, sounds like we're going down, eh?
No, it does not.
Yeah.
So, quick question: the spaces we've seen so far could not have housed an enormous amount of undead, right? So it's probably so they probably came from the vaults.
Yes. You will also, as you explore the launch sites, find that like the launch sites each have like the most complex and like heavy systems of elevators to get things to the top. Launch sites are crazy like mechanisms, and they seem to be mostly machinery. You find lots of coffins, and you soon come to the realization that these areas are actually used to were planned in case of an invasion or a situation in which they had to engage in combat with other organizations to launch coffins holding Raziel into the city, and that their payloads were launched around the beginning of this event into the city.
Fudge. There's Raziel's in the city. Okay. Well, the Imperial Army is effed.
They're pretty strong, but there may be a few Razios for them to contend with.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Omen being able to control a bunch of undead helps.
Yes. You will also, and I did mean to add to that, yes, they fired their payloads into the city, but only the payloads that were actively being tested with, and so like each launch site has the option to fire like 16 at once, but only like 3 from launch site 1 contained Razios.
Okay.
Still, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Compared to like what you knew that they were capable of holding, but
Yeah.
That
Okay.
is one thing, and other than that, other than the fact that there's a whole lot more of this facility beneath it in the vaults, you don't know. However,
I mean, if we want to get the artifacts, likely we should involve the vaults.
Yeah.
oh, and there's the one more thing. In this area, you've like heard vaguely mentioning the power source of this area for in some other documents. Most of it was just in pertaining to the fact that these platforms are used to power our Xeon transfer objects, the poles. However, in Lab 1, you actually discover that at the base of the vaults is what is known as Kurmi Amadi, which is how I spell it. Which is they define it as an object that was found here along with the Mirage system, which is referring to the Sylvain construct that allowed them to obscure the city's walls.
Right. That might be the Xeon source.
Kurmi Amadi is supposedly what the Xeon source is. It is noted as remarkably stable for what it seems to be. You notice it generates supernatural energy of all types at an unusually high rate, comparatively only by a few other beings known to exist. And that it had been sleeping here for untold times before they found it. They do not know whether it is older than the system, the Mirage system, or not.
Question. Do you want me to roll to know about?
Oh, cult! Dang, you have such good occult. Yes.
I want to. Would I know about the city that vanished near here? The city that had. The city where they had like the.
Was it Lazarus that attacked us?
No, it's the Tree of Souls part of chapter 6 in Gaia. It's the giant tree thing. Oh yeah, Nemosit, the city of Nemosit that disappeared from the Dwanhof. That's the one where a bunch of supernatural creatures tried to make a hive mind central magic system to connect everybody to the same node, and everybody just ended up dying.
You can make an occult check, though I'm pretty sure you know at least a little bit about that.
Well, like, nobody knows what happened to the city. Everybody just knows it was one of the biggest cities of the antiquity, and then it just vanished out of nowhere. Yeah, 338.
Dang, that's pretty good. You do know about the city of Minimisit. You don't know.
Oh no, sorry, 200. Wait, what? Yeah. No. Oh no. Wait. No. I did take. No. You're right. It's 338. I got it right.
Yes. Let me take a quick look, making sure that I know what I'm talking about. You can't say you know exactly what happened to the city of Minimisit. Even that is like difficult, but you do know a lot of the research that has been done on it. you do know of the unusual mechanics of supernatural energy that are unique to that area.
Okay. So
And you've probably been able to draw some similarities and like some attachments to the Duke's Wrist in history,
yeah.
simply through their manipulation of magic and the manipulation of their trees. You still don't know exactly what caused this explosion or what caused this event. It could have been so many things, but
Hmm.
you have a strong opinion that you may have a strong opinion that it was related to that it was caused by or through the energy of Duke's Wrist and their tree.
Yeah. I just wanted to know if like the would Kerami Amadi be some Sylvan words? Would it be some Duxaris words? Like I'm just trying to piece together like you know in the history of the region where that artifact could possibly fit. And since I have a little bit of since I know how to speak some of those languages.
I would like you to roll a history check as well, really quick.
Yep, you got it.
That is not incredibly great. You know the languages of the Sylvain, don't you?
Okay, so I don't remember
I
where
thought
I.
you had that one.
I think I had it too, but I didn't write it on my character sheets. I think it was only in our conversation. So just give me 1 second.
That's fine. I'm almost positive you knew about the Sylvain, so you know
Yeah.
that it is not a Sylvain language.
Okay. Du- du- du. Okay. Du- du. All right. So Latin, I know Eva, Nepranus, Legameton, and Ultwe Alariel. So Ultwe Alariel is, I believe, the Sylvan language. Legameton, I only know I don't know any of the technicalities of it because I didn't have enough science to know the language properly. And I think so. It's Eva and Nepranus. Just give me 1 second.
Yep.
To
Nepranus is the language of the Duke's Wrist.
okay, cool. So I know ancient Duxarist.
You do, and weirdly enough, the name of this thing is in none of those languages.
Okay.
It does not seem to pertain to any of them. However, with your history check, while you have no idea the fine tuning of the history here, these records that are back several years, like I think 3 decades, and it's very unlikely that when they found this place, that there was a significant like Duke's Wrist or Sylvan population still here.
Yeah.
So their naming process may not have been based on what the thing's actual name was. They might have named it based on the particular circumstances of their discovery.
Yeah, that makes more sense. You're right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. In this case, Ban, you want to go to the vaults? You want to just take an elevator down there and go have a look at?
Oh boy. Absolutely, let's do it.
I will extend it by saying that the vaults are the way the energy system is secured. You know, we have this whole upstairs, which is obscured by magic. However, the vaults are impossible to depower other than by just completely disconnecting them from the source of the energy. Kirami Amadi. And they are persistently locked when not in use by a scientist. So you may descend down. Are you going to go through one of the ones in lab 1?
I tried to look at a reference in the notes to see if like which access point would be closest to the power source.
All right. Kirami Amadi is supposedly located not too far from the original location.
Okay,
So the original signs. So this one way over here near Warhound Plaza.
yeah,
It's there was a single elevator over there. However, you also are now aware that all of the surface areas have been depowered. That would be a good place to start. Additionally, if you wanted to, Central will be the second closest point.
Okay. I think I say let's go have a look at the launch site 1. No, wait. Yeah, let's go have a look at launch site 1, and then go through Central to the vaults.
Okay. Well, launch site 1 was actually I was talking to you about, like, as we sort of like decided that you searched a lot of the areas.
Oh,
That
yeah.
launch site 1 was the one you looked at, and you figured out the contraption for these are launching coffins, and it launched the 3 Raziel to the surface
Okay.
during that first part. It launched 16 coffins, but most of them were empty.
You got it. Okay. Then let's go to the vaults.
All right. Going down through one of the central areas. You can't operate the elevator without magic. So you can either give it some, or if you must, there is totally a way for Ban to lower it by hand.
Yeah. You know what? Ban lower by hand, but I'm ready to give it some magic should Ban fail.
All right, shoot the strength check, Ban.
Don't.
Alright, and we have our fatigue generator, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
have your-
I'm gonna pump all 5 into this.
Actually, quick question. You have an augmenting ability for that.
Yes.
Would you like to use that?
Increase strength or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, I may
Okay.
as well.
Ba-boom! Bulky Ban. And make your...
Alright, so if I increase my strength from 9 to 12, how much of an increase do I get?
It's a plus 10 to your feats of strength roll, but it's also as though you start with like a base of 180 in feats of strength anyways, so yes. Go ahead and roll that and it'll add even more to your base strength.
Wait, plus 10?
Yes, to the roll. It adds more to the outcome than just the plus 10, but to this roll it just adds the plus 10. That's still pretty good.
I rolled a 6.
I know, but you know, you still wait. You roll a 6. Oh, but with the fatigue. Oh yeah, you're putting a lot into it.
Yeah.
You grip it, and like there are a bunch of like metal coils that like raise and lower this thing.
Yeah.
And you can like your hand sinks into the metal coil. You hear it sort of screeching a little bit. You're like, oh, I gotta lighten up a little bit, and you slowly lower both of them down into the.
It's a good thing. Yeah.
Please.
You got it. Fatigue saves the day again.
Fatigue is great. It tires you out a little bit, but not enough to actually make an impact.
Oh, yeah.
As you like, it's horrible.
Also, in an hour?
Yes. So an hour, you'll get more fatigue, you'll get more key. It won't be an hour till you've gotten to the bottom, but you should be at full key when you start.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll be at full, what's it called?
You're back to full key. You're back to full fatigue.
Yeah. Was there anything else, Bob?
No.
No, I'll be at full everything once I hit the bottom.
Well, you spent the fatigue as you go down. It won't take an hour for you to get down to the vaults. It'll only take a few minutes.
Right.
Okay. So you'll still have spent the key you spent on your strength increase ability.
Right, and key I recover once every 10 turns, or 1 key per 30 seconds.
Okay, so you will recover a good bit of key before anything else happens, but for the moment, you are lowered. And I want you to preface this with, it's terribly as you guys move down the elevator this way, because none of the individual parts of the elevator are not resisting this. They are all locked in place, so it's making this horrible screeching sound as he pushes or pulls the cord up through the floor and pushes the entire platform down with his feet, and it's just terrible. And your ears are ringing as you see the vaults come into view. Now already the vaults are looking like a little bit worse for wear. You come into this bottom room and it's like the light is on, but there's only one and it's not very well lit. And there's blood on the floor.
Because of course there is.
There's blood on the floor, yes. And you can just faintly hear as you come down here, like echoing through these these stone hallways, like the sounds of scraping and the sounds of like groaning from far off, and in most directions. However, you do also discover the room you're in. There are 2 hallways leading out of this room. However, directly across from you is this wide open area with more rails. There's already a platform here, like a mobile wagon on these rails. And there are numerous chains to either side of it, used for strapping in things, possibly active things. And it extends just down this area, down this long corridor that has a number of metal doors on either side.
Right. Onward, noble steed.
Yeah.
Onward. Are you gonna just search down here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I assume I can't feel magic.
You can feel no magic.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Not a lick of magic.
All right.
Not only that, but you cannot feel any key. However, you do know that the barrier sort of suffuses into these doors as well, which will make it very hard for Bond to break through any of them. So as you're moving through this corridor, you get to the end. There's another elevator. You don't know exactly. Well, actually, you probably know that this goes to like a lab on the other side of the central lab.
Mm-hmm.
But you keep on going. There are a number of long hallways. These ones don't have the like fancy railways between them. Down here, things seem a lot more cramped, like built only to necessity rather than built for thinking minds.
Yeah.
It looks like it involves a lot more drudge work down here to get about and to perform your tasks. And I'm going to ask whoever you want to make, both of you, 2 people, make notice rolls.
By the way, I lament the use of undead as weapons. I say this place could have been used to make them into workers, to make them into farmers, and that would have been so much better. You said notice?
Yes, notice.
That would have. Is it based on sight?
It is based on hearing, so no.
Oh, okay. So 137.
137. Okay. Oh, okay. That's pretty good then.
Yeah.
As you're moving down this corridor, you come into a number of cross sections. You do find like a little area which is just like a cellar full of like salted meat and like very basic things, like the absolute basest things to get someone living by. You come across a number of these crossing areas. Now that you're moving down here, it's just become one long hallway. And you come to another little intersection. It's a T intersection. It goes from between like here and here. It leads straight down. And as you are coming down this section, you hear like this wailing coming down, like going away from you down the hallway, and like it's accompanied by like what sounds like screeching metal grinding against the walls as it's moving away from you. Are you going? You have not entered the vision of this side hallway if you don't want to.
I don't know if this is worth it, Ban. I mean, I don't want to leave something like this in the hands of the Imperials, personally, but don't know if it's worth. I think we've risked our lives enough for today.
Nonsense. Risk is something that we must all take. Just but I think at the end of the day, it is going to be worth it.
All right, let's try to proceed with caution, and yeah. So we're trying to head kind of westward.
Yes, westward.
Yeah.
The exact location is just about at this, actually 4 points crossroads. So like you got to about here, and then there's this road. There's this way south, and that's where you heard the screeching and the wailing of the person.
We don't
we-
see.
Are we supposed to be on the map?
Yeah, because we're on the city map right now.
Oh, I'm also on the city map. To the right of Central? No, I'm in GM overlay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right there is actually the target right here.
Okay, cool. So let's head there.
You've gone. I was actually pointing out the entire time. You went to about here, and then there was that southern corridor in which you heard the screeching. But you waited out. Eventually, you sort of hear like that buffering sound where it starts to echo, and you know it's gone around a corner.
Okay.
And you proceed forward. As you proceed closer, you cannot sense. It's this very unusual feeling for you and Iterate. You cannot sense magic with your magic appraisal. However, there is a thrumming in the air as you get closer to this point. Like you can actually, if you just put your foot flat on the ground, you can occasionally feel like a tremor run through it.
And there's
And
no key, right?
There is no key down here.
This is annoying.
And as further down the hallway, there are a number of like gathering my thoughts. You enter this hallway. As it widens out a little bit, a number of hallways intersect into one spot, and then it widens out. To either side of you, there seem to be a number of armors. Each one you would recognize as the armors that would fit on a Raziel, but you do not see any flesh in them. They don't seem to be made with bodies. And beyond that is a well-lit room.
I suggest that we take the armor, since that would be very, that'd be actually worth a lot.
Agreed, but it's starting to reach the point where I don't know if Gabriel will be able to fit much more. Depends. Are the armors enchanted in any way?
As you touch them, you cannot tell that they're enchanted via the magic appraisal check. However,
yes.
You try to move them, and it seems like they're stuck there. Ben can make a strength check if he'd like.
How long have we been walking, by the way?
If you've been walking and not running, I would say you can have recovered your key by now.
Okay, then I will reuse, so +3. Should I spend any fatigue? I mean, you can give it right back, so I mean, I may as well.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, wow. Okay, you yank at it and you feel like you actually separate the arm from the body for a moment, but you still feel this force. And as you tear it free, there's something like the arm is fine. It's stiff, but it's fine in your hand. You look at it, it's like just this arm made of armor. But from the torso of the suit, there's like this weird twisting mist that just sort of like hangs off the side. Kolchak, you open the room.
Yep.
What the...
This is really different. Most Raziels are made by the mending of steel and flesh. You have your suspicion is that this might be done some sort of experiment of melding Raziel armor with a spirit instead of a body. But even then, this spirit is a little unusual. There's something about it that's not quite normal.
Okay. Ban?
Yes.
I think those armors have spirits in them and that they could move. Also, I was trying to determine if there were magical properties with the armor itself.
The armor itself. Go ahead, sorry.
But it should be at least enchanted if it's able to interact with a spirit.
Yes, I was gonna say it doesn't seem to have any properties beyond usual Raziel armor, except for the fact that it is definitely woven with supernatural energy.
Okay.
With that crazy occult check, I'll also say that you know that in order to keep this type of armor, that capability there, it probably takes a lot of energy.
Yep. Okay.
Anyways, as you're looking at this, just beyond this hallway is a well-lit room. It
Yeah.
seems to be a square shape, almost like but it's all. The centerpiece of the room is a huge box with another golden door. Coming from the ceilings around this box are long black metal chains that sort of like cross each other and will enter into ports on the floor only to come up other places. They all have magical seals on them. You see the mixture of runecraft and alchemy used to make these chains and this containment box, much of which itself is black metal mixed with peculiar stone, like very smooth pale stone.
Okay.
This all seems a little bit dangerous in terms of amounts of power. It's stronger than most of the artifacts I've been given to work with. It's certainly probably too strong for me to actually transform it into a more practical artifact.
Whatever this containment unit is, it is definitely very high quality.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch it.
You touch it. You can feel it. The chains are cold. The door is cold. It just seems like metal to the like the basic human touch, except for the fact that with your magical sensitivity, you feel like this faint shaking around it, almost like waves of heat would feel to a human hand.
Yeah. Okay, but I don't hear any voice
No
from
voice.
a potential creature inside. Okay. Ban,
Yes.
do you want to open the radioactive containment chamber?
As well.
All right. I'm taking many steps back.
Many steps. Are you just like out in the hallway? Are you by the Raziel?
No, I'm beyond the Raziels.
Okay, you're almost down to that T section over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm far enough now. Go ahead.
Do you strike the door?
Yep.
All right. Strikes the door.
Alright, so let me see. So with the bonus, I would have a attack bonus of +10 because of my strength. I'll put 5 fatigue in. Oh, by the way, did you full heal my fatigue again? I assume you did.
I hadn't.
Okay, well, fine. And then +10. And so that's... So, hold on. And then I gotta roll breakage, which would be 11 to 12 then. So then it would be that. Oh, really?
Pathetic. Your fist thuds into the metal door, and you hear the sound of it, the metal ringing, but your fist does not impact more than. Well, it doesn't impact any distance into the door. You can just feel your knuckles sort of squish against it. Thankfully, you do not take any damage. I won't make that mistake again.
Awesome.
And that is enough to tell Jorl that once again, this is a barrier based on the weight of your existence, not on the weight of your fists or your strength.
Yeah. You've recovered 8 points of fatigue.
Alright. So I'm back to... I'm 2 below full.
Okay, so give me 1 second. And you're full.
Awesome.
Okay. Can you cut the chains?
Probably.
In this case, I'm gonna have Gabriel absorb it, and then we're gonna leave.
Oh, you're gonna try to absorb the chains?
No, the box.
The box? Oh, the whole box?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry if I explained this wrong. The box is like a room in and of itself.
Oh, okay. It's
Like
it's
this
pretty.
this golden door is the entryway to imagine like about a living room sized space, and there are chains like moving in and out of the walls of the room.
Where is Genus when you need her?
She is on the road to riches.
Gina's, come back. We need you.
Well, Bond said I was free to go, so...
Yeah, I know. Ban is an idiot.
Hey,
Oh.
half of the places you guys wouldn't get far enough if it wasn't for Bond.
Yeah, I know. It means you're strong, but you can be strong and an idiot. You can be two things.
Two things. Bond is
Um,
not one thing. He is two things.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what Genus is doing right now? She's in the back of a cart, wrapped up in a blanket, sleeping like a baby,
yeah, that
Yep.
far away from all of this.
that
Bond
makes
is
And like
smart.
Octavia
He's
is like just
not
slightly
in the
patting her
area.
head, like really thinking about it. It's just lovely. And there's stars out right now.
Meanwhile, when I was
Crickets
here.
chirping.
Oh, I know. The Raziel armors.
Gracias, yep.
Do they have weapons?
They do. They seem to be holding them like at their sides, like almost like they have sheaths, but they obviously don't.
What
I'm.
weapon is it?
It's ban. It's the cursed weapons that hurt us when we touch them, but that are able to hurt a lot of things. Maybe if you could lift it long enough to strike the door with it, we could open it.
Yeah, fine.
Alright, you're probably gonna have to make a magic resistance check for that every turn where you're holding it.
You do have to make one, but as you know that you are going to have to do this, you can snatch it up and then like just barrel towards the door
Yep,
and
pretty
do
much.
it in one turn. Well, actually, it will take. Actually, at that distance, it will take 2 turns, so you'll have to make 2 resistances. Let me make sure what it is.
Wait,
One for
really?
each.
Will it
Yes.
be 2?
What?
How will it be 2 turns?
Stans is here.
Stands.
Hello.
Hello,
Stands,
Stans.
you're here. Hello. We were talking about the scheduling thing. We'll figure that out shortly, or after the game.
Yeah, that was just for this week, and I think it's daylight savings after anyway, so we should be about the same time again.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
cool.
Okay,
So
cool.
let's stay on Mondays then.
Yeah, cool. Welcome back, Stan. The reason it will take 2 turns span is because there's more than no way. You run like 33 meters. Never mind. Yeah, 1 turn. What was your magic resistance?
My magic resistance is a whopping 110.
All right, you will take amount of damage
30.
equal 30. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was the same or double. So for you, Stans, Genus and Bon briefly left through imports and exports to go see Octavia because they knew that there were a bunch of Black Sun operatives out there and they were worried they'd be hurt. They went out there. Turns out Lilia had abandoned the team, but between Octavia and the Imperial soldiers, they fought through a couple of undead and captured the leader, and everything's fine. However, Genus then decided that since she was free, she was in the open sky, Octavia was safe in here, she was just going to nope out and get on the wagon they had stocked full of things to ride into the distance. Ban and Jorel have continued to explore the area. They have succeeded in turning off the barrier that kept everyone inside of the city. And they are now exploring what is known as the Vaults, a section beneath the lab, which supposedly holds countless undead monstrosities, artifacts, and other intrigues, including the power source for the entire facility, which they're trying to break into right now. Omen has been sent upwards, knowing a bit of the spell to control the undead, to try to assist the soldiers of the Fourth Horseman of War in disposing of the undead on the surface and saving as many lives as she can.
And I think you were given 600 points of Xeon to do that.
You were given 600 points.
Okay. 600 points of Xeon to control undead.
I've actually been doing like little quiet rolls in the background for how that would happen, but if you want to, we can put you up on a scene up there real quick. First of all, I would like to tell this group here what happens as they try to break through this door.
Okay. So what happens? Also, how much damage do I take?
30.
30 damage. Yeah.
Damage.
What was your attack roll? I need your attack roll with that.
Awesome. Let me think. What negative would I get for it?
Technically, a negative 60.
Awesome. 187.
Kaboom! You sink the blade into the door. It actually
wait.
manages to part the gold of the surface.
It'd
just
actually
a little
be
bit.
197 because I'm keeping that I'm keeping my strength. And then
197.
yeah. What would the breakage roll be?
Ban, your strength modifier doesn't modify your attack. Your dexterity modifier modifies your attack. Your strength
Okay.
Your strength modifier modifies your damage.
I always fucking forget that. That annoys me about this game. But yeah. For breakage,
Uh,
what would it be?
breakage. Let me take a quick look. I believe it would actually not be higher than your hands.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think it's higher than your hands. It's a two-handed sword. I'm on my way over there. Ba-ba-ba. Wait, a two-handed sword has a breakage of 6, so it would be, and you're two-handing it, you're doing it with strength 9, so it would have 14 strength breakage.
Strength 12.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I think in that case your breakage would be 20, or 18.
21. For fuck's sake, really?
Unfortunately, the breakage isn't very good. However, your swing heavily damages the door. It will take you one more swing to break it, you think, so you will have to take that resistance one more time.
Alright, cool. Sure, fuck it.
You lose 16 more life points.
16?
Mm-hmm.
Five more fatigue. 60, which means that I'm down 10 fatigue.
Right. That's a much better attack.
And a much better breakage.
This time you curve it left, and the entire left side door just sort of like splits, easily a large enough hole for both of you to get through. But then the other half of the right door also sort of slides off. So the top halves are still on their hinges, sort of floating around, but you've got plenty of space to get through.
Gotcha. I'm gonna quickly put the sword to the side.
Okay, throw it away from you, and it lands on the floor, clatters to the floor. No longer hurting you.
I'm glad the
Okay.
Raziel didn't react to getting its weapon stolen.
No. Oh, I should have made you make that strength check. Darn it.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He's okay.
So what's inside?
Inside. I'm making a cult check. I'm sure you'll find it.
Yeah. Oh. My bad. Is it religious?
It is not religious. It's fine. You've probably seen or heard of this before. What is inside is a coffin.
Mm-hmm.
A tall coffin standing upright. At first, you might pass it off as, oh, it's another coffin of one of the various things down here. You've seen them a ton of times before. However, upon viewing a little bit closer, you see a number of symbols that you identify as Toroko on this box. And you identify it as a Chronos containment system.
Ooh. Ooh. Big yikes. I know what the Chronos containment system is.
It includes its additional piece, which is the coffin, which is extremely rare.
Yeah.
However, that is the first thing you see. As you look at it a little bit closer, you do see a number of different things, like little metal articles sort of attached to the back of the coffin that sort of spread out into the sides of the room. Some of these parts have little crystalline additions, and you look over them, and they seem to be the attempts to transfer magic at whatever is inside. It's a heavily jury-rigged system, something that was probably done through a high knowledge of occult rather than any knowledge of actual artifact building. But it works to a small degree.
Okay.
Do I smash it?
No. Wait a second. You have you heard about the monks of Tol Roko?
No.
All right. They are an order of imperial soldiers that whose mission it is to find supernatural things and steal them away on the island of Tol Roko, or if it's too dangerous to move them, simply to contain them where they are and build a fortress on top of whatever is too dangerous. Oh no, they didn't build a fortress here, which means this is probably fine-ish, or maybe I don't know. But basically, they seal things away, and this is a Chronos containment system. It's meant to keep something very powerful inside. And the fact that it's a coffin means that it's using all 5 components of the Chronos containment system, which is extremely rare. All 4 pieces would be able to keep even someone like you or me from using any of our powers or from escaping ever. So this is worrisome.
You gonna die.
Let's see. Would it be useful for getting my dragon?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Then what is it useful for?
I mean, it's useful for keeping the thing that's inside.
Alright, then let's leave it.
The thing is, Tol Roko is known for being a bunch of idiots sometimes and for sealing away things that aren't dangerous, but sometimes they are correct and they seal something that's dangerous. I'm just very curious, but I have no way of observing what's inside. I just know that it produces enormous amounts of magic and ki. Okay, do we have we can't let the Imperial Army get their hands on this. It's way too dangerous. We should probably collapse these tunnels.
I'm going to walk over and touch the coffin and try to use key.
Sorry, go ahead.
Try to use key to sense, because I can sense if something's strong as well.
Yes. And also, even in the obscuring system, I think you learn this. You can detect things just slightly. It just dampens your range. It doesn't destroy it. It doesn't prevent sensing completely.
Oh yeah, this.
It's a 6.
God, I've been rolling like shit tonight.
The Chronos coffins weigh 2 tons each, so transporting this is actually not going to be very possible, even for someone with your strength, I think.
Well, with his boosted strength, he could transfer it. He just has to use ki while he runs with it.
Yeah.
But I would have to use 1 every 5 turns, which I recover 1 every 10 turns, so I could go for a while.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you're touching this box, right?
Yeah.
Dural, are you still standing way back?
No, I've moved closer to get into the room. Yeah. Why?
Killing both of
quick
you, or am
notice
I
check.
killing one?
Notice? Is it based on sight?
No.
Okay. Aha!
Oh, wow. Okay, you can roll that. But you get it. you hear an unusual hiss and then like the sliding of metal against steel. And as you turn around, the Raziels are approaching, not at a running pace.
Gee.
Ban, step back from this thing.
Do I sense anything through it though?
You like touching it is like I would like you to make a willpower check actually.
I think that's actually one that I can boost as well, so I may as well.
No, you can't.
You can boost. Oh wait, is it just physical?
Yes, because if you could boost, I would know if you could boost power and willpower with key things, because that would be really useful for mages and psychics.
Trying to find it again.
Yeah, it's in base. It's in the basic book.
I use a website that has.
No. I'm telling you, you can't boost it.
Yeah, I confirmed as well. It's only physical characters.
Sorry, I didn't know that you wouldn't want to.
Can you?
Okay, no time.
15.
Willpower.
Hello, person. Willpower 15.
Well then, we've been using it wrong this whole time.
Have we?
Yeah, because I've been boosting my willpower to not kill you guys.
Oh, you're right. Oops. That's bad. Well, remember that. You can trade that out later if you want. That's my bad. I think I told you that was the thing you could do.
It's all good.
Anyways, your willpower is fine. You get like a little dizzy, but it lasts a total of three seconds, like one turn. You touching this coffin, it feels like between you and whatever's inside, there is a centimeter of pure blankness, void of any spiritual energy whatsoever. But then you can sense just the faintest hint of what is beyond, and it feels like a cosmos of supernatural energy. It feels like all of the energy you'd felt standing in the middle of the market above condensed into a spot roughly the size of your thumb.
What is a
Okay.
man but a pitiful pile of secrets?
He's also some key sometimes.
Okay, the Raziels are here to protect this thing. All that we need to do is seal off this tunnel by destroying it. The Raziels will stop anyone from trying to open the coffin.
One quick question: did you keep the thing's arm?
No.
Okay, you let it like.
I don't see a reason why to.
Yeah, I know. Did you just put it on the floor then?
No, I put it back. Like, I was
Okay,
like,
that's very nice of you. Raziel appreciates that.
Yeah.
It does. The one with
Raziel will give you one turn to run.
Yeah.
That's how nice it is.
But as you pull your hand away, the Raziels like have their swords drawn. However, they just sort of have them levered towards the coffin, and they do not attack once you draw your hand away.
I do not know what the hell this thing is, but I do know that it has more power than a lot of things that I've encountered.
Well, we'll come back for it someday if we have the possibility of bringing it to the island of Tolroko, where it can be contained more properly. But right now, the best thing we can do is just destroy the tunnel that leads to the Raziels.
Are there any tubes connected to the coffin?
Yes, like I said, there's a lot of metalwork, mostly coming out of the back of the coffin that extends into the walls.
Yeah,
Okay.
those were added. Those were added. Oh, hold on one second. Those were added. Those look like they're Blackson technology, right?
Yes, this looked like this is not who made the coffin. This might even have been like somebody much earlier in the development of this facility, because the chains outside are immaculately made.
Alright.
These seem to be sort of like a jury-rigged process.
Wait 1 second.
Alright, I'm gonna cut them.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I say, hello, can you hear us in there in all of the languages that I speak?
You speak all of these languages. and you do not get an immediate response from whatever is inside. Are you? You're just like speaking it out loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
You know, there's
Am I able
metal
to cut off all the tubes?
Oh yes. As you move, you like punch one of the tubes, and the tube itself that you punch doesn't break. However, there's this little like connector bit near the wall. You see snap, and a bunch of little like shards of glass fall onto the ground, and immediately you feel like, well, I guess Joro will sort of like feel the 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 barrier sort of like weaken a little bit. You can sort of like sense the magical energy now floating outside of this room with you, and the entire area just becomes flooded with it. It's kind of blinding. Trying to sense anything else while you're in here is going to be really hard. And
What
Ben, you
about
go in
Key?
key. You do not sense anything else yet. Would you like to break a few more?
Yeah.
Okay. Snap, 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 snap. There were 6 total, and you break them all. The coffin teeters as it seems it was kind of being supported by those. Um,
I quickly get in the way and then slowly lower it.
well, okay, you're still buffed up with strength, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can do that. Slowly lower it to the ground. It's still really heavy even for you, but now it is lying on its back. And what's more, you can sense supernatural energy beyond these walls, though faint and obviously obscured by the massive presence within the box. Bon, you just sense like the inner layer, whatever is inside this coffin, whatever space is in there, is just filled with bottled energy.
Doom, doom, doom.
However, as you
Shit.
break all
Now,
of these,
now
as
people
the-
can feel that.
as all the barriers around this area fall, you also feel a lot of sudden rumbles, like and cracking sounds in the distance. More parts of this facility seem to be breaking apart now.
Well, at least me and Omen will probably survive. Well, I know I will.
Probably.
Omen probably will. Those two, doom, doom.
No,
doom.
I think we're good. Yeah, let's leave now.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you collapse the terminal by punching it really hard while I go to the elevator?
Of course, I need fatigue.
Wait, no. Hold on. I've got better. I can just make it look like that tunnel doesn't even exist with one of Idarit's spell. What's the tunnel's presence?
Just the tunnel?
Yeah, just the tunnel.
Well,
The
I can
tunnel,
still
we'll say it's like a
collapse it.
30.
30?
I can still collapse it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but Ban, collapsing it makes it look like it's a collapsed tunnel.
No. I can collapse it, then you can make sure that it just looks like solid wall.
Yeah, let's do both of those things.
Alright. I'm gonna ask the Raziels if they can get in that room with the coffin.
The Raziels stand where they are. They do not seem to respond to you, and as you walk out of the room, they return to their posts.
Yeah, we should leave the Raziels with with like in the same area that we're going to seal
No,
because
that's
this.
my point. I'm trying to collapse the whole tunnel and get them into the room with the coffin and have them surround the coffin.
We should just collapse the entrance of the tunnel, and I can make it look like it wasn't ever there. And if someone ever finds it, the Raziels will be there to protect it anyways. So let's do that.
Alright.
And that is going to take 90 points of Xeon.
As you're
Yes.
doing this,
And I
like
need fatigue.
you can collapse the tunnel. Like without the barrier, you can just punch through this ground like you've punched through tons of cave systems before.
Nice.
No problem at all. However,
Oh, yeah.
as you're doing this, as you punch this one, there's another like shudder, a tremor beneath your feet. And that sort of echoes off into the many chambers around you. And that seems to be a persistent thing happening several times as you're casting the spell. And suddenly, little chips begin to fall from the ceiling.
Let's
Down the corridor, you hear a tremendous crash.
Doom, doom.
let's run to the elevator.
All right, your movement speed's 10, Jorl, because you rolled great.
Yeah.
You guys dash down the hallway. The shaking sort of starts to get to you a little bit. I'd like you to make a quick acrobatics check, but you'll make it to the platform.
Who makes an acrobatics check?
Both of you. Both of the girl and the... Unless like Gabriel just takes him and flies with him.
Holy shit.
N-
I have a 10 speed as well.
Yes, you do. I know you do.
I'm spending 2 points of fatigue so that I don't have the minus 30 modifiers for being untrained in athleticism.
All right. Well, both of you at some point, like, you eat dirt just shy of the elevator, and then just clamber onto it.
Okay. Gabriel's going to
then-
materialize and use her magic to activate it because I'm not counting on Van to lift us up fast enough.
All right. Let me do a quick roll. Okay. He did not break it beyond repair. So as you activate it, there's like a little shudder or like a bump every time the cord passes one of the spots Ban grabbed and sort of deformed with his strength.
That would have been great if Bond just broke it because he was like, "Oh, I can strength this down."
I didn't strike it down, actually.
Strength it down.
Yeah. Strength. Grr.
But, did I sense? What did I sense as I was running there?
You just sense, you can still sort of feel that energy, even though it's far beyond your regular radius. You can still feel it over there.
I thought the note said that the system to hide its presence wasn't connected to the Black Sun system. I guess we were wrong.
No, it was. No, you were right.
Okay.
Oh wait. The system to hide supernatural presences in the area is connected to the Black Sun. Yes. Did I say that wrong in some note?
Yeah, I thought.
I meant...
I thought that by disconnecting the Black Sun things, we would keep that thing hidden.
No, I'm sorry. If you want to, what I meant was that the system that is the barrier around the city, the thing that was used to keep everybody inside, was separate from this.
Oh, yeah.
Or was somehow disengaged from this.
Okay.
Okay.
All of the things that keep up the walls, keep up the obscuration of the area, were tied to that.
Well, I guess people who can sense the supernatural will be there's something under the city, and hopefully they will not find out what.
I was trying to make sure that I cut draining it.
Yeah.
You cut draining it?
Yeah, you cut the connection.
Yeah, I cut the draining.
Yeah, because even if somebody finds all of the recharge stations in the tunnel in the Black Sun tunnels, they won't be if they're deactivated, they won't know that there's a power source that's supposed to be connected to those. So
that is true.
Yeah. Okay, and then if the rest of the Black Sun tunnels are also shaking, we'll escape. Otherwise. We should probably head to Lab 4, but I think Stans should get a turn to play.
Yes. You guys head to Lab 4. Why are you heading to Lab 4, by the way?
Research.
Research? Okay, cool. Stan, your turn. You have just breached surface a little bit before what's happening down below, near the Wooden Warhound Inn. Again, you are greeted by a darker sky. You're getting a little tired. Everybody is at -10 because they're so fatigued. They've been awake for so long. Except for Genius. Genius is sleeping right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you stride into the open air. There don't seem to be any undead around you other than the corpses lying on the ground. However, there is just a hint of difference. You can now hear eerily, you can hear birdsong beyond the walls, as though what was over there was never disturbed by what happened within the city. You can also hear a number where before it was largely screaming in panic. You can now actually hear the sounds of men in conflict to the south of you. Down here.
Oh, guess where I'm going.
Going over there? All right. You are just going to move through the alleyways over there?
Yeah.
All right. As you move on through, You grow closer to the sound. There may be a single corpse or two you see wandering the passageways, but you can avoid them or engage them if you want. However, before long, you will be able to perceive uh, a full platoon of men, like with swords brandished in a front line, while several behind have crossbows, firing at any single corpse that wanders into the line of sight. There's a gentleman in the front with a broad mustache and sort of like graying hairs, and he'll like have his saber forward, and he'll point at one, wait a second, and say, "Confirm, fire," and they will all gun it down in a second as they move into the city.
Okay, well, do they look like they're getting along okay with that then?
They do. You don't see. They all have a similar uniform. You do not see any quite so well armed individuals on the floor yet.
It's just these ones.
Yes. Their shouts and their commands do seem to be drawing the attention of other undead in the area. As while the Warhound Inn was very like peaceful at the moment, as you look over this street, one of the main roads of Terrasanta, there are a number of like bodies and cadavers sort of shambling down the road towards where this event is happening.
I'm just gonna is probably directly engage with the. Then there's just gonna see if she can. Dead. Did I get the book or was that with Joel?
You made a decent memorize spell. You can cast the Control the Undead spell. Is that before 20 or after? You cast it at one level below the level that you could get.
At the very no, I tore off the page and gave it to Omen.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, then yes. Oh, I remember you said that. Omen, you do have the book. You can cast it at full strength.
You have the page.
Yeah, you have the page.
Okay. I'm gonna try and cast Control Undead then.
Okay.
That's an area thing, right?
Yes, it is. Let me give you the exact specifications.
How much intelligence do you have? Stands?
What?
Oh, you said 10.
10? If you want to use it with the intermediate, you might have to do a 1 hour long ritual every time you want to cast it.
Jesus.
Because it requires it requires
time for that.
it requires an intelligence of 11. Otherwise, you'll have to cast it at base level, which is a 20-meter radius.
That's alright.
Yeah, it's good enough.
All right. You're going to cast it intermediate? That will take you just. That'll take 100 Xeon, and they will make their resistances now. Make a protection roll for me if you will. That is all of them affected. You gain control of about 17 bodies if you don't. Oh, yeah, there's your protection. You gain control of about 17 bodies that are shambling down this road, and they all just sort of stop and await your command.
Thriller.
That's an idea. No, let's see any other undead that aren't under control. Because my idea is to just stay out of their way, and if any undead are attracted to the noise they're making, to just have them fight. Have my undead fight those undead.
All right. So That is easy to do. You actually got the bulk of the undead on this road. You just targeted the most populated spot. However, there were some outside of your radius, so as soon as you tell them to, your undead will turn and begin clobbering all of the others on the street. And the other undead don't actually. They seem almost utterly. It's like they don't even perceive these bodies attacking them. They'll just keep trying to like wiggle out of their grasp or get around them and try to get towards the men. And the soldiers themselves are like, some of them are like tilting their head, trying to see over their friends, trying to figure out what's going on. But the soldier's just like, the soldier in front, the one with the mustache, is like, keep your head in the game, fire again, there, take out those targets that are still running. And they continue to march forward, though they will save a lot of bolts and perhaps even some health thanks to your spell. Are you going to bring these undead with you if any of them survive, or are you going to just leave them here to help?
They'll probably just get shot if I leave them. So like, if there's no other undead, like after a while or so, then I'll go see. I'll try and move past. So I'm not particularly seen by these people, and go somewhere where I think there might be more.
All right, I'd like you to make a quick hide check, and also, it doesn't take too terribly long. The undead fighting undead takes forever, but as you observe them, you can probably do something, or you can. They will eventually all be either shot, or the enemy, the ones that you do not control, will be shot, and you can probably escape with just a few more undead of your own. That's a fumble on the high check. Roll 1d100.
So you're having the same kind of luck GM did with you.
Good.
That's 50. That's not awful. However, as you're like around this alleyway, you have a big red cloak, don't you?
Yeah.
You sort of forget that, and like you turn to like leave, and you whip it out in a very dramatic motion, and you hear one of the guards go, "Hey, who is that? Stop right there, sir! Somebody just ran around that corner." Well, go after them, and then there are a number of feet chasing after you. Unless you turn around right then.
Leave.
You leave.
Let's not deal with that. Actually,
Your agility's stinking 9.
yeah. So I could do that for one.
God, our whole team is fucking fast.
I know everyone's fast. Even Jorl is fast.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a trail of fire across the road.
Okay.
Attempt to scare them off from following me.
All right. What kind of spell are you using?
Probably the barrier one.
Okay.
So my barrier, yeah, just at base.
All right.
Go ahead,
Make a
Joel.
quick projection check. Go ahead. What?
Go ahead, Joel. You go explore the rest of the labs. I'll be fine on my own, Joel.
That was me saying that.
I know.
I figured I don't know if I played this right since, but I figured Owen would just be like, "I don't need your help, old man. I'll take on all the
Yeah, no,
undeads."
absolutely,
If-
yeah.
Okay,
if
cool.
only there was a second person there that could have acted as a distraction that had better stealth.
Or, yeah, I know, it would be great.
Yeah, if only Genus hadn't ditched
Only,
us.
All right. But
If only Bon had fought harder for her to stick around because she's so darn useful.
Bon hates her, dude.
Yeah, the feeling's mutual.
Exactly.
I tried to bribe you with a cloak of invisibility, and that didn't work, so...
Well, it's good for cohesion when most of the party hates each other.
yeah, it is. Great.
Yeah, cloak of invisibility or staying alive with all the riches.
All right.
Good choice, yeah.
So you bolt down this tunnel. The wildfire goes up behind you, and you can vaguely hear them yelling, "There!" And a couple of and by the time they have any chance to reconvene, you are around the corner and out of sight. They're not going to try to cross that wall of fire. All right.
Okay. Go down to a normal pace then, and just keep looking. I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a magic appraisal check from you, actually.
Yeah, that's the idea.
That seems to be a
Better.
projection.
Oh, twice. Just take which other, I guess.
Oh, do you want me to just put that 65 into your appraisal?
Oh, you asked appraisal? Yeah, you did. And I rolled projection. Sorry, I'm tired.
That's all right. Oh, sorry. I still have. I'm sorry if I moved around. No, roll a 1d100.
You're really having the luck
Okay, that's
GM did.
65.
You?
Okay, that's 130. So
That's not so bad. You just don't sense like you kind of like get this like weird breath of magic that just comes from around the city to your west, but like that's a lot of city. In that case, you can hear these guys fighting down to the south. I'd like you to make a search roll.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
That's so great. But you are moving through the city here. And as you are, you kind of is this an all right path for you to be moving on, or do you want to
Yeah,
change
no,
your
this
path?
is like just the most westward path, probably.
All right, towards like central energy. You come to this alleyway, and as you like look to the right, you see a line of like 10 more bodies, and one of them seems to just be standing there like with its arms sort of like to either side, and it seems to have
Oh,
unusual bony
T-posing.
appendage. Sort of T-posing. It's sort of like an arrow because its arms are down a little bit. But it has a
Fucking
number of
dumb
bony
ass.
appendages coming out of its shoulders and head. And all of the undead in front of it seem to be like trying to break their way into this big house, like right this house right there. And while the one with the bony appendages just sort of stands to the side. By the way, you managed to split off your undead, and you now have 6 corpses with you.
Okay.
It's a daily maintained spell, so you don't need to worry about that.
All right. Cast that again. That would be like. I don't suppose you could like maintain both at the same time. Or,
Oh yeah, you can maintain as many
okay.
versions of it as you want.
Maintenance spell. Okay, then
Roll one more projection for me.
being to serve me now.
The,
Something.
the thing is, if you have the other ones gather around you and you cast it again, you can
That's
drop
true.
the first one.
Oh my god, you're right. What the fuck? That's
Oh man.
broken.
And they rolled poorly again, so you managed to get all of these guys, even the one with the bones on him, and he just sort of like turns around to you slowly and stares at you with his eyeless sockets, dark in the evening light, the faint evening starlight.
Oh, I didn't expect that to work.
Didn't roll so well.
And come to me.
The zombies stop hitting the wall and turn to you and like just start running over. One of them has a broken leg, so he's lagging behind and gets trampled by the others, but the rest of them just sort of crowd around you. Some of them look fairly fresh. Some of them look like just very pale people with a couple of like pockmarks where some flesh is sagging or broken away. And then there's just one fellow right next to you whose like entire jaw is like hanging from a thread and just like drool coming out. He's got big yellow eyes. His head's kind of crooked to the side. He's your favorite.
Yeah,
Or you're his favorite.
yeah. Necromancy is the second most overpowered school of magic, and now we can all see why.
Yep. You now have a bunch of level 0s and a level 2 or 3.
I'm pretty sure he's a level 3.
Which one's the top level?
The one that has bones out of it, coming out of it, it's able to produce.
Oh no, my apologies. Which one's the strongest book of magic?
Creation.
Creation.
Yeah. True.
It's also the best one for support.
True. I think no. The strongest book of magic, which is technically a subpath, is fucking literature. Literature's so fucking broken.
Well, yeah, but
I
that's the
love it.
subpath. We're talking about main path.
Yeah.
I mean, literature is pretty cool.
Also, type 5 is level 4.
Level 4. Dang.
Wow.
Oh, it's type 5.
Yeah. It's the one that's able to grow bone weapons.
Oh,
And shoot
yeah,
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have an icon for him if we ever get him. If you keep him.
Hey, I think I will.
Don't keep a horde of undead. We already have enough magical creatures that draw too much attention.
I'm not to.
All right.
I
guess I'm gonna
will
go up
by
to that
killing
door
them.
and like see if I can, like, there's a keyhole or something. I can just like poke Farron through or something to see what's through there.
The door has taken a beating. It probably wouldn't have lasted too much longer. You like let Farron maybe like if you could just like send her up. There's some windows on the top that are partially open. You can sneak her in there, and actually up on the top floor is where you find them against the far back wall. In what appears to be like maybe a child's bedroom, there are like a couple of beds in there. Is a whole family just sort of nestled there.
Oh, that's not the others. Come on.
Okay, but they are safe now. As you lead your
Oh.
posse away. Are you gonna make another
In my
search
dark
check?
army.
My
Yeah.
dark- Yes. All right. You're moving towards central now. You don't have to make a notice check for this, but if you want to be stealthy, you can. Because as you come to this point, you hear like a loud metal clang, like something striking metal in the area, and the thud of several bodies. Are you doing a stealthy, or are you just walking up?
Yeah, I'll have my posse hold back, and I'll go see what's up there.
Okay, make a stealth check if you want. But if you're just walking up there, either way, you will soon see. In this central square, there seemed to be like a pile of dead, directly in the center. They seem to be completely unmoving. That's a really good stealth roll. That's not what. But what you see as far as moving, there are a number of corpses sort of like moving around, a number of undead that are active. They seem to be mostly following around this really big guy with black armor and one arm full of eyes, and you've heard the spiel before, you know what it is. And that monster, the Raziel, has its sword like held out to one side, and it is standing over two gentlemen on the floor who seem to have massive gashes in their back, though one of them is still trying to crawl away. The other one seems to be still on the ground.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, second. Right, okay. Yeah. Me to attack, I guess. I'm just going to burst of fire into the air to try and get his attention.
Can you do that in one turn?
You throw fire in the air, yeah.
Okay, make sure. Wow. Are you gonna throw it like at him or just like in his vicinity?
No, it's just like a small like create fire spell. Like
It's like a flare. Yeah.
That's what I figured. I was just saying if it was like straight in the air or at him or just where exactly it was going. Either way, I'm gonna make a quick check for him. You do notice that the eyes on his arm immediately snap over to you, and then like back up the crawling body before they decide to like turn your way. Its entire upper body. It looks towards the source of the fire. And if it's just above you, it's all of its many eyes will sort of center on you. And it raises one clawed hand to point your way, and the zombies start running over.
But what level is control undead?
Level? It's a 40.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'll try. Yeah, I'll try to control this one then.
Alright.
Point
It will
it
take.
and say you serve me now.
Alright. It will take 2 turns. I'd like you to roll a quick initiative.
Okay.
I think it will. What's your accumulation?
Yeah. And I say,
Yep, 2. It's alright.
Are we gonna lose someone to undead?
Maybe.
not that close to me, right?
No.
Like, take at least.
They should reach you on the second turn, but on the first one you have. So it's if you win this initiative, you will be able to.
Yeah.
First. Initiative 4. Okay. Oop, I'm sorry, Cat. And I think you win because they have this. Yep. You get to cast your spell first. Make your projection roll.
Hey.
Unfortunately, since they did run towards you, you will have to cast the one on these zombies separately from the one on the Raziel if you plan to cast one on that one. Okay.
What? Oh, okay. You mean like there's zombies behind the Vazio?
No, the zombies that the Raziel commanded a bunch of zombies to run at you. You're controlling those zombies, or are you controlling the Raziel?
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I've misunderstood. Sorry.
Sorry, that's fine.
Mm. In that case, it would be. Would it be an active action to command my zombies to intercept those ones?
No, it is passive action.
Do that then.
All right. And as soon as they start running at
Push.
you, your zombie horde strikes against his zombie horde. The only problem is that yours is actually slightly bigger and contains one type 5, which immediately beans the first runner in their army's head with a spike of bone. They all collide and sort of like fall on top of each other. You still can't get both groups in a single shot. Wait, no, it's a radius. So yes, you can. Never mind. If it was a diameter, then you couldn't. But if it's a radius, you can get both. Okay, so that was for the zombies. You add 7 more zombies to your collection. For the Raziel, it will be different. The Raziel, resist your control.
Damn.
He's really strong, and he's angry now that all of his zombies turn around and look at him and raise their arms and go to attack if you want them to.
Yep.
Okay. He is swarmed by zombies. He will spend a little bit of time chopping those up if you want to cast another spell.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a fireball
Raziel
to
would be
show off.
pretty fucking useful.
What?
Raziel would be pretty fucking useful to control.
Yeah, it would be.
Alright, in the time it takes for you to make that spell, it deals. It kills 3 of your zombies.
Yikes.
Wow, it is.
It does not resist.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
See,
It has its massive 2-handed sword, and it just goes reaving through, completely cuts off one's head with the first swing, digging into a few others. And on the second swing, it sort of tosses 2 of them way out to the side, like they strike the fountain and sink into the already bloody waters there. But as it raises its arm for a third strike, it stops. And your zombies are still beating it up.
I could just stop moving.
Yes. Because you have it controlled, then it will do nothing. Unless it berserk,
okay.
which I'm making a roll for now. Actually, the Raziel, not the smaller ones, don't have a berserking thing.
Oh, don't I?
No. And by the way, all the
but-
Raziels, except for the one with Sergei, were the smaller ones. They were not the big one.
Alright. Okay, I'm gonna those two soldiers do the smart thing and leave, or are they still there?
One of them's trying to crawl away, heavily wounded, probably almost dead.
Dead.
The other one may be dead. You can't tell. You don't have the medicine for that.
By the way, Avelby, it might not be in the rules that they have a berserker mode, but the last sentence of their description implies that they absolutely do.
Okay.
It's occurring to Omen that she has no way to actually help these people. So I'm just gonna command to pick them up.
Oh my god, you're playing a Gario with undead.
Okay. That is true. I think it's different when they're using magic. However, I did give them psychic resistance, and I think that he's okay for now. And you're playing what with undead?
A Gario.
I don't know that game.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Okay, so what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a few of the zombies like gently pick up these two and just carry them around with me till I can find someone who can help.
Okay, you hear the one that is alive like make this horrible wailing sound as he gets picked up, like obviously terrified and confused at the same time as the zombie kind of picks him up, almost embracing him gently and puts it on his back. He's just like
Fine.
whining the entire time. He catches a glimpse of you. He's like, "Help me!"
No, you're fine.
Oh.
I keep looking and good thing because it means people might know we're here.
How much Xeon do you have left?
200.
Okay, so you have a couple more casters. By now you actually hear a number of like men shouting like commands, more of the horsemen coming from the south of you. They seem to be making their way up that pathway pretty quickly. And as you know, as you've been living here for quite a long time, that was their main encampment, was directly south of Terrasanta. Are you going to go towards them or away? And I will give you one more magic appraisal check.
I'm gonna send zombies carrying the soldiers ahead of the rest of them, I guess,
Alright.
and head that direction.
Oh, you're gonna send them towards the soldiers?
Yeah.
Okay. Just the zombies carrying the soldiers, or all of them?
Just those two.
Okay. You have confidence that the zombies will be quickly shot, their good deeds never written in any books, and then the men may be rescued?
Soldiers will probably be fine.
Maybe. Hopefully. But anyways, what will you do with the rest of that magic appraisal? You actually, like, as you get a little closer now, there's like a tremendous beacon coming from over here. Well, it's somebody with the gift. You can tell that they have a number of light-based spells cast on them.
Oh, well, light can't possibly be evil.
Light, the most evil.
Wait a second, yeah,
makes
no.
you happy even if you don't want to be happy. What?
True. You're not wrong, though. You're not
Well, it's-
fucking wrong.
Did I pick up the but out of curiosity, the lady who showed up when I was setting fire to the park did she have the gift?
The lady you picked up with... Oh, you could not tell that she had the gift, I believe, right?
Okay, well,
I think that was a bad roll from you.
if it is her, then I have an army, so...
You could beat her up with a Raziel.
Yeah.
Alright. So you go rushing over here. If you keep the Raziel in the head, it like easily cleaves through the like one or two courses that get in your way. No problem at all. And as you reach this little corner, you enter the park. And there are still trees here, though you do see like some people, some once humans, now dead, slumped against trees, or like who have tried to hide in like the bushes. many of them unsuccessfully. However, as you come a little closer, you sense a number of magical signals. If I may move you over here. Over here.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. All right. You reach this area and you see like this pulsing, like beautiful warm light coming from the center of this, or the corner of this park over here. And as you sort of like dip through the trees, are you going to try to be stealthy as you approach?
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, moving a fair bit ahead of the zombies.
Okay. You let the zombies behind
So-
as you see that the area is clear. And you make your stealth check if you'd like. As you approach, you see you first catch the glimpse of a number of humans sort of like crouched in the center of that circle you saw before. The trees have obviously been put out, and the foliage seems almost thicker than it was last time. And as you peek through these trees, your eyes go up, trying to find the source of the light, up and up until you see hovering almost just above the trees themselves is a woman. She seems every bit like this crazy fairy tale story of incredibly long blonde hair, dressed completely in white with angelic wings. And as you come out with your stealth check, she immediately, like, her eyes just sort of like slide down to you. And she is not the woman you met before, in case you're wondering. She quickly descends towards you and says, "Quickly, come over here. You'll be safe."
I'm plenty safe already, but thanks to the concern.
You. Oh. Are you trying to hide your magic, by the way? You don't do that, do you?
No.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I suppose you are quite a bit safer than the others, but are you searching for help?
I'm searching for people who need help. You don't.
Well, we definitely wouldn't deny another set of eyes watching out for these people.
Okay, well, I have about 36 pairs. 36 at the moment.
36. What?
Nice. I'll bring a few zombies forth.
She looks at them, and then like she sort of like narrows her eyes, her like entirely peaceful appearance sort of like fading, and she says, "Have you any hand in this?"
Oh.
You think I do?
Mhm.
Do you think I'd be offering to help if I did?
I don't know the machinations of those who wield such foul energies.
Foul energies, eh?
They bleed the very life from this world.
And you think you can't use power like yours to do the same thing?
Mine do not do so innately as a part of creation.
Te-
And I would not.
Technically, she's right.
Well,
Necromancy sucks the life out of the flow of souls.
I don't know.
I don't know if Omen knows that. If you're a cult,
I think she does.
She might.
Yeah. I'll make a roll if you want.
Yeah. But
Oh, 'cause I'm 6, so
yes.
absolutely.
Oh yeah. Oh heck yes. You know. And in fact, it became even more apparent to you as you used this spell that you're like dragging the energy out of something rather than like gathering it from a place where it comes naturally. So she will say, "I don't know why you come being a friend, or why you come as a friend, but if you're pretending, and if you are part of this, then you are not safe here." Just as a side note, the woman you did meet before seems to have been moving between the people sitting on the ground, and like peers around the glowing golden lady at you, and her eyes sort of widen a little bit. She says nothing yet, though.
Oh, if you think I do have something to do with this, then you can deal with me yourself. But you're losing an ally if you do.
You are playing a very dangerous game with your words.
I
Would you
don't
like
say
to?
anything. And would I like to what? Sorry.
I was gonna say, would you like to just roll like a persuasion to be like, I'm an ally, even if I don't explain myself too well.
Critically
Yeah,
failed.
I'll give a warm smile, I guess.
Okay. Warm smile. Can't she see into your heart?
She can. She sees nothing.
Wow, that's pretty
that's good.
good. Yeah, okay. She will say, you play a dangerous game with your words, and while I cannot condone the use of those powers, if you are a friend, then maybe you'll save a few more lives than your powers inevitably harm.
You said
You
you
won't
want lookouts?
anyone who can help. I am powerful and I have many powerful comrades, but we have a limited source of energy. Though, I suggest we'll begin to move soon to escape beyond the walls. The barrier has fallen.
Okay, I see. When did that happen?
Not too long ago. I was actually trapped outside before then. I couldn't get inside, and then suddenly everything just appeared before my eyes again.
Okay, well then. So, just tell me what to do, I guess.
Simple. We're going to fight our way to the western gate with these civilians.
Okay. In that case, bring up you guard the flanks. I'll take up the rear, and
And that'll be it?
Yep.
All right. I suppose this sounds as good a plan as any, but while I don't wish to sound aggressive towards you, know that we will be paying close attention.
I'm happy to hear it.
You can take up a position behind them. You notice that the lady who you met earlier actually is like taking that up with you. She's just behind the people, like ushering them along, helping on those who are struggling to move very well. And she's always like looking back at you with your small posse of undead. One of them like sprouting bones, the other one full of metal armor and eyeballs. And you're just sort of this small lady standing in the middle with a smile.
I point to that one. I call that one T-boy.
She looks at him and then looks at you, and like there's this vague look of disgust on her face as she shudders and looks forward again. Thankfully, as you're moving through this area, she hovers above, and any zombie that sort of peers its head around the corners in the front immediately gets hit with a burst of light. Most often, this does not completely incapacitate them, but there's another gentleman who seems to be now openly elven. He has sharpened ears and long red hair. Moves forward with what seems to just be a hatchet and like deals with them whatever remains. The lady following with you has a bow on her back, though she doesn't seem to have drawn it just yet. She's mostly worried about keeping everybody up with the rest of the group. Your group just sort of like meanders on behind. No one seems to be approaching as you move. Oh, well, I'm following the wrong roads. As you move through the plaza, taking a little detour on this side, get to about here. When you realize that there is a squadron of, or when you, everybody stops, the woman stops, and you hear a squadron of soldiers fighting their way down to the southeast of you. She says, "We cannot go this way.
Oh,
They may not see us as the same threat as the undead, but they may see us as an entirely different threat. We must go around."
well, you planning on sticking around after?
Well, I suppose not. But we do have much that is here still that we will come back for when the people who cannot fight are free.
Alright, then let's go around.
Double back a little bit, moving between these buildings until you get to about the end. And just in the very center of the street, the lady with her wings fires a bolt of energy at this zombie that comes around the corner, and it staggers and then just looks at her. And as it turns its head, look, you see a number of those bony appendages, and then another one steps up behind it. 3 of them in total. The man with the hatchet runs forward in a defensive posture, but as they raise their arms, you can actually tell by the first one that's fired that they are aiming past the soldier to the civilians behind them.
Okay. Mm, yeah, Razio are aiming the civilians.
All right, you're running the Raziel forward.
I asked what. Can you repeat that? Are the Razio aiming at the civilians?
No, there are 3 more Type 5s at the end of this alleyway, and they are aiming at the civilians.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. I yell to the civilians and move the zombies into like closer to them.
Okay, the people there are several like sharp screams and shrieks as the zombies sort of crowd around the people trying to be their shield. However, are you charging any Xeon?
Don't think I need to. So
Okay.
No.
In that case, the woman deals several blows, though you can feel like her magic weakening. She's been using a less intense version of Beam of Light these last few times. The man with the axe runs forward. Between the 2 of them, they can easily cleave one down. It actually takes the woman drawing her bow for them to take down the 2 others over a period of time. During that time, they got several shots off into the crowd. The first one of which hit a young woman, and the others of which were mostly blocked by your zombies. Your zombies will take. See. Where's my. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
No, they just deal more damage than I thought they did.
Boy.
Oh, that's an open roll. It's another open roll, but he can't go further than that. Either way, I believe they may take down 2 of your zombies with just the projectile bones.
Damn.
Oh.
Yeah. Which means you've lost a total of 6. Which means you have. You still have a good bit. You have 21 zombies, I believe, and 21 zombies,
that's
a
way
Type 5
more.
and a Raziel. Well, you got 15 that were hanging around trying to get into that house.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Still, you got some zombies left before you get to the gate. Moving along to this side, you actually come to confront the gate. And there's a small group of guardsmen, Imperial soldiers, who haven't been pushing in but have just been watching the gate. They seem to have set up in a fortification there. Like they've got some bags up in front to slow the undead as they come in, a couple of spikes pointing inward. They see this group come around and their eyes are wide and confused, and they have their crossbows raised. But thankfully, are you going to step forward to talk to them, or are you going to let the glowing lady talk to them?
I'll let the glowing lady talk.
The glowing lady goes down to talk to them.
Actually, if it seems like safe now. Owen's probably just gonna head back into the city.
You take a moment to watch as she like sweeps down very slowly, like arms up as though she's uh giving up. She is not here to fight. They seem like utterly confused by this. like giving up or not, they have never seen an actual live angel sliding or flying down to talk to them. But amongst whispered voices, they eventually like signal through the civilians. And beyond that, the woman, the angel, does not leave, and neither of her friends, her elfin friends, leave. However, the civilians have made it to the outside. So
Okay.
you are going to go back into the city? Sorry,
Any of them stopping me or anything?
As you move back, nobody stops you immediately. There's a couple of guards who look at you oddly, seeing you as a civilian. They probably want you to go out with them. But you leave, and as you do, moving just down the street a little ways before the angel catches up with you and says, is that it then? Are you through helping us?
Well, you specifically.
All right. Well, it is not often in my best interest to help a necromancer. If there's anything we can do for you that will help end the assault on this horrible city, please let me know.
Oh.
Was that a nope?
So I'm thinking.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Drain as much Xeon from her as you can.
Yeah,
I could do
Jesus.
that.
You could do that.
No. I'll just say, remember that Omen helped you?
Omen? That's a
Omen.
foreboding name.
That's the idea of it.
Omen the necromancer helped me.
Yeah.
Not a necromancer, but sure.
Omen the good necromancer. So that it means you're a good omen.
Good
Hey.
Omen. But yes, all right. She says, I suppose I will remember that. And thank you again. And she will float away to her companions, and they will move back towards the forest where you found them. Are you going anywhere next?
Probably back towards the plaza.
Okay. As you go towards the plaza, you actually come up behind the group of soldiers, and you find as they are moving through, they are not just killing these zombies, they are burning them. So there are a bunch of charred bodies in the wake of their march.
Barbecue.
However, this area does seem bereft of movement, including human or undead. If you're just going to keep heading back to the plaza, you'll be following them. Is that okay?
No, I'd go another route.
Okay. You could just slip around and use alleyways. Doodly 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 doo.
Diddly do.
Doodly doo. That like once in a while you'll notice they'll like send a troop of 3 gentlemen down an alleyway to scope it out. But other than that, it's really not that hard to tell where they are because they are shouting. So you can make it back to the plaza pretty easily.
All right.
Wherein you find, I'd like you to make a stealth or hide check if you want to peek in and avoid being seen.
Yeah, I'm generally a bit ahead of the zombies. Yeah, so.
Okay, go ahead. Stealth. That's not too bad. Unfortunately, as you peek into the plaza, just a single guard who's like looking out notices you. You peer in and you see that there are a number of people who have arrived here, a number of these horsemen soldiers, though they seem to be keeping a wide berth from the pile of bodies here. Several of them seem to be like visibly ill from the sight, but there are yet more who seem to be like grimly set to the task of burning it, while there is one who's just like has his bow out. He's facing away from the conflict. His eyes catch your red cloak, and he immediately says, You must get out of here. The gates are open. Sergeant!" And he waves, and the gentleman with the mustache, who is also here, looks at you and nods, pointing to him. Him and his other companion move towards you and say, "We need to get you out of here. We'll take you to the gate.
Sure, lead the way.
Right this way."
Okay, and as he leads me, I try and lose him.
Okay. So tell me where in this route you're gonna duck away from them.
About there, yeah, like as soon as I'm out
Okay.
of sight, really, and not too
Okay.
far away.
You're out of sight of the main thing. You're right here. They aren't like holding you, but they are like, they say, "Stay right here." And one of them takes front point and one of them takes behind you, which humorously, they are both looking, they both like check on you every couple of seconds, but their attentions are both in front of and behind you to make sure that nothing approaches without their notice. Do you want to stealthily run away or just bolt?
Stealthy, yeah.
Okay, make stealth check.
Burn a bunch of fatigue on that.
You sweep away from them. Within just a few seconds, you hear, "Hey, where'd you go?" But you are just out of sight. You manage to like slip your way just behind like a pile of firewood, just long enough for them to like lose you, turn around, like go different ways for a moment, and while they're searching those two alleyways, you slip right out and you're free into the city again. Where have your zombies been this whole time?
Probably just back where I left him. So,
Way over here in this area.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
Make my way back over there.
You find as you go through here, there is occasionally you march through an alleyway, like a single undead, which seems to be like leaning against a wall. But for the vast majority of the places you're moving, they're gone.
Oh, darn it. Any of them still there?
Any undead? Oh no, I mean hostile undead. All of your dudes are generally like seated there, except for there is a single one who seems to have a number of crossbow bolts he has in him that he didn't before.
Yeah.
Oh, well. It suits him. It's stylized.
He's a porcupine man.
Yeah.
You can actually no, you only have that page. Darn it, never mind. I was gonna say you could use necromitude.
What
Do you have
now?
any more? What?
Joel and Semnus specifying a way to meet them up or not, because it looks like I'm pretty much done up here.
We set up a meeting point at the north of the city, and we're probably heading there right now.
You reach your group, you look at the porcupine guy, nod at his new, aesthetic improvements, and suddenly the ground beneath you begins to shake. One solid tremor, and you realize something's weird going on as a number of smaller ones continue to like hit you throughout the your trip.
Okay. I was going to say, ask if I could make a another magic appraisal check as I was making my way there.
All right, please do.
I can notice a gift in anyone.
Yes. On your way up there, you will notice on occasion the gift, which you don't really recognize off the top of your head. Actually, Hydrid hides her gift whenever she's out, doesn't she?
Yes.
Okay, so never mind. Probably don't sense that. However, as you're moving, you can sense the angel woman where you think she is up to the northeast or northwest. However, not long after the tremors begin, you get this weird sense of supernatural energy just like pouring out of the ground to beneath your feet. Somewhere in this direction. However, you were nearly to your meetup point.
Oh,
It's like a
Decisions,
star of
decisions.
magic. Nothing like you've ever felt before. What?
I've never felt this before, to clarify.
Yes. You've never felt this kind of supernatural energy before.
Okay, no, well, I'll keep going then.
All right. Keep going. And you
Actually,
guys will
no.
meet up.
No. I'm going to have those. I can cast static message like on like
On what?
so I can put a static message on like a moving thing.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I'm gonna put a message on Drewley's chest.
Oh gosh.
Gone
Okay.
to southeast. We'll be back soon.
All right. He now has that emblazoned in whatever font you desire on his chest.
That makes sense.
Okay, comic sense. And you send that to the meeting point?
Yeah, probably like 2 or 3 others.
Okay. In that case, what was the meeting point? The Warhound Plaza or just north of the city?
North of the city.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
street.
Yeah, he Ban pinged it around here. Quick question. Is everything in the underground collapsing, or did we have time to look at lab 4 and you want us to make a quick search check for like anything interesting we could have found, or do we want to just end it here for today's game?
You can make your search check. However, I think we're going to pretty much end it here as everybody reconvenes on the north side of town.
Alright.
By the way, there are several collapses. The vault seems much more heavily influenced than the actual lab, though you do notice that there are a couple areas in the lab that have actually fallen into sinkholes from where the vault below is collapsing.
Alright. And when I see Genus again, I'll take the creature out of her dagger.
Yes. That will probably. Sorry that.
Sorry?
I was saying to
Cut out.
Genus, I'm sorry that you had to sit here for so long. I was hoping that we'd get to a point where we could soon, but
Nah, it'll have to be next game.
all right.
Alright.
The city is well explored.
Okay. Have a good day, everyone.
Yep.
Have a good day. Thank you for stopping by and playing my game.
Mm-hmm.
Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this video. If you want to keep up with all of the adventures on this channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you can get a notification each time we upload the next episode of this story. And it would be very nice of you to like and share the video to help this channel grow. Have a nice day everyone.